The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is Overreaction Monday, January 24th, 2022, and a lot has happened. Can't thank you enough for joining us on this sports show. YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. All the boys are here. At Ty Schmidt. Sorry about the Packers, Bob. Hey, sorry about the hell of a run.
Good run.
We'll obviously dive into that. At Boston Connors here. One half of the Hammer. Dahn Cowboys. At Tone Diggs. TJ Watt joining us in hour 3 today. Can't wait to hear what Pittsburgh Steeler legend and icon, the man who kicked his agents out of the way and said, let me get this deal done. And then almost went on to have a defensive MVP year. Those conversations will continue to evolve as we wait for the NFL Honors Show, which is going to be on Thursday night, I guess, before the Super Bowl. Normally on Saturday night before the Super Bowl. I think that's accurate. I'm not 100% sure. Heard like 4 to 5 people mention it on kickoff shows, the people that get invited to it. A little different this year, Thursday. I've never been. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. We'll see that. Chat with him. Darius Butler will join us in the second hour, as will AJ Hawk. Now, I'm excited to hear from AJ Hawk because AJ did better than I did in picking games this weekend. And whenever I say he did better than I did, he went 1-3. I went 0-4 this week. 0 for 4 in selecting who would cover, who would win. 0 for 2 in Super Boosts, in which I have the incredible honor of being able to reach out to the folks at FanDuel and say, hey, these are the odds, what they normally be. I'd like to boost that for our people. And there has been group council conversations to decide what those boosts are, but normally at the end of the day, it is my decision. I have the ability to do such a thing, and I have to treat that better. Because if you have the ability to lift the odds, you have the ability to beat the book. You're getting a little bit of a BOGO. You're getting a situation where they are going to be fucked if you win more than they would have been fucked before. I went 0 for 2 on those, so I apologize for that. I went 0 for 4 on the weekend, but I could have never predicted, nor could anybody else, that we would have the greatest divisional playoff round in the history of the NFL. 3 walk-off kicks. How you doing? Keep it moving. Kickers matter more than anybody in the biggest of games. You want to go to the championship? Make a kick. And then one game, a walk-off tud to one of the greatest tight ends in the history of the game from one of the greatest players of all time in an overtime situation in which the entire world had to weigh in on the decision of what the NFL overtime is that, does seem to be a bit bullshit.
Wow.
Would love to have been able to see Josh Allen, who was absolutely on fire. Unbelievable. A fucking wagon on that 4th and 4 play where he rolls right, jukes and dodges some people, picks up the first down. Then to throw the plays that he's able to make with that team. He's next level. And I think the whole world kind of got, gypped an opportunity to watch him come back and maybe answer Patrick Mahomes. And they played 3 times in the last year or whatever. The final score of those culmination, 100-98 are the final scores between the Bills and the Chiefs. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, the next Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, 2 men that are going to have to stare at each other in the AFC playoffs for decades potentially. $500 million in one, multiple hundred millions in the other. Both franchises building around these players and going and getting it. Patrick Mahomes gets another win. And although the overtime rules do seem to be quite dumb, and we've chatted about that ad nauseum on this show, not just the playoffs, because these are the biggest times to go to the championship. There's only a few teams left. Why would we ever want the game to end in a fashion in which we couldn't see Josh Allen maybe come out and cement his legacy even more against Patrick Mahomes? I don't know why the NFL wouldn't want that, so we think it's dumb. But in the regular season game, shouldn't be ties either. Why not just trot 2 kickers out there to battle it off like it's a kickoff or a shootout or whatever the case is? Why not let them play? Why not let the Bills answer that? And the Kansas City Chiefs feel the same exact way, by the way. Just a few years ago when the Kansas City Chiefs were fucked by this same rule in overtime by the New England Patriots, they pitched hey, we should be able to answer. We should have been allowed to have Patrick Mahomes back on the field. Remember, everybody watched and was like, well, we'd like to see this young stud come back on the field and see what he could do. The Chiefs pitched that rule change. They were turned down mightily by almost everybody, including the Bills. Said, nah. Now here we are years later, and it's all kind of coming back to get them. So whatever the case, incredible weekend. All these games have to be chatted about.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like you said, heartbroken, obviously, still kind of shell-shocked, but because the weekend as a whole was so good, it honestly does kind of take the sting away a little bit. Like that game last night, ending the weekend on that, oh, man, that was like a shot of adrenaline, really. Now,
I don't want to say it got real hot.
Oh, yeah. Steamy in here.
For those that don't know, I had a long sleeve on there for a little bit. A little Brock Lesnar flannel, okay? You know, it is my go-to outdoor thing because that's like a 4XL or something like that. Put it on, makes me, it's quick, easy, not a bad. I'm sweaty because of how incredible the weekend was. It's hard not to get worked up whenever the NFL delivers in its biggest weekend. Because last weekend, if you do recall in the wild card, 4 out of 6 games blowouts.
Yeah, terrible.
A lot of people were wondering, did the NFL lose its fastball? Excuse me, are the teams separating themselves so much that the greats are just going to dominate the bads or whoever's in there? Is this like college football all of a sudden? Then the divisional round, now people are saying games are rigged.
Whoa.
People are saying games are rigged.
Come on.
People are saying that Vince McMahon himself drew up that Buccaneers-Rams game, the one in which the greatest of all time with potential conversation of it being his last game ever if they were to lose, is Dahn and out. So much so that I passed out while that game was on because it was a bit boring early. Now, you should be awake. I did sleep through the halftime, but then Tom Brady starts getting some bounces that you see Tom Brady get in the past. It's like, oh my God, this guy, not only incredibly talented, works very, very hard, has invested so much time of his life to the sport, but also it feels as if in certain situations, things happen that don't normally happen. Cam Akers has 2 fumbles. The center has a fumble, snaps that thing over Matthew Stafford's head basically in the middle of a run in which the Bucs are looking like they were going to come back after being down almost fucking 20. The Rams looked terrible once they got the lead down in Tampa, in Tampa Bay. Even though the commentators were basically talking like it was a foregone conclusion, Tom Brady's still on the other side of the fucking field. Let's go ahead and remember that. They start coming back. How you doing? Keep it moving. That game got absolutely electrifying at the end. And then somehow, some way, there's a miscommunication in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense that allows Cooper Kupp, who his teammates are saying this motherfucker deserves MVP conversation. He's not only the Triple Crown, but he also is the yak leader of the NFL. So everything receiving, this dude's the best in the game at, and we're very heavy on the pass game, and this dude is why we're so good. But him trying to explain what happened on the last play was awesome. I think it was a 2-man, but then they moved. It might have been a 0. I'm not 100% sure. Cooper Kupp basically said, I don't have a fucking clue what they were doing. And then it comes out, neither did the Buccaneers. And how does that happen whenever the game is on the line, reigning champs at home? How is there some sort of miscommunication? These are the things that will be talked about for the next couple months. If it is Tom Brady's last game and that's how they won out, that would be insane, obviously. But the scripting of these games, and obviously Matt Gay would go on to hit that thing. Way to go, Matt.
Way to go, Matty.
He came up short. He came up short for 47 earlier in the game, and I just said, not great. That's all I tweeted. I didn't add anything. I didn't do anything, but I had a lot of people tweeting me like, hey, you got anything to say positive about these kickers, pal, now? Guy just came up short. So anytime something is kicked either good or bad, normally I'm going to hear about it.
Right.
So I just said, not great. I guess he got hurt in pregame warmups. Are they looking for a kicker right now?
Whoa.
2 games? 2 games?
In a dome?
In L.A.?
Huh? Uh-oh.
I mean, there's certainly going to be a vitamin found in the test going in, but I don't think you miss any games for that anymore.
No.
Well, they could be looking for a kicker?
Think so.
Vinatieri's still in shape, too. What a fucking Vinny.
Well, Vinny. Vinny might play backer for them if they need him.
I mean, maybe. They got Weddle off the beach. Maybe they'll get Vinny off the beach as well. But Matt Gay misses from 47. He obviously hits a game winner down there. What are they going to do going forward? Evan McPherson with the Cincinnati Bengals. That kid's a fucking stud.
What a beast.
I think he'll be joining us on Wednesday.
Ooh, nice.
I think we'll get a chance to chat with him. The story of him telling the backup quarterback on the sideline, it's cold down there in Tennessee. He'd already hit a 54-yarder or whatever. There was going to be a long ball. And that game was very fascinating. I thought the Titans were going to win. I was in Nashville on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
But they were ready?
Popping.
It was awesome. That's the best arena we've been to yet.
100%.
Wow.
That's the best crowd that I have been in. They were all standing. It felt like
They were
all very loud. I mean, obviously, there's some celebs in the stands.
Yeah.
You
A lot of them.
There's some celebs.
Who showed up?
All right, but the energy was just awesome down there, and it felt like the entire city was excited about the Titans getting Derrick Henry back. And then first play, Tannehill throws a goddamn pick. Boom. Guess what? Tannehill's last play of the game, too. Another fucking pick.
Stat that.
Hashtag.
Stat that.
First throw, last throw. Divisional round game, Tannehill, pick.
1 seed.
At home.
At home.
Stat that. Is that the first time ever?
I believe so, Pat. Through my research, yes, that was the first time ever.
So,
Stat that.
Stat that, yeah.
A lot of first times yesterday.
Anyways, thought the Titans were going to go on and win. Derrick Henry scores a touchdown early. That fucking Bengals team is awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Joey Burrow is a guy. You got to be so pumped if you're in Cincinnati that we got a dude. And all his interviews seem to be very, I don't want to say cliche ridden, but he is very professional. Seems like he is wise beyond his years. He gets sacked more than any human had to have gotten sacked in a goddamn divisional round game and still won. I guess there's a record. Somebody statted that somewhere. Yeah. But he got killed. Their defense, though, was able to cover and to press and do some things. And A.J. Brown got loose a little bit. And Julio Jones had a catch. And Derrick Henry started running. And Foreman started running. But that Bengals team, the grit and resolve, and maybe it is because they don't have an indoor facility.
Yeah. Could be.
And maybe it is because they practice underneath a highway. Maybe it is because that squad is too young to even know what's going on. But that Bengals team was awesome to watch. And the story about McPherson telling the backup quarterback right before he goes out to hit the game winner, does a couple swings. Well, it looks like we're going to the fucking AFC Championship. That is the type of confidence that you would hope every single kicker on earth has. That is the type of confidence that every kicking camp you go to, the coaches are saying, hey, the number one thing that you need is the utmost confidence in yourself. There's an old story about a guy saying like $100 you miss or something like that. And an old NFL kicker says, 10 grand, I make it, or something like that. And they always talk about, like, that's the type of confidence you have to have. That's the type of everything you have to be able to do. And not everybody has it, obviously, because if you miss something, you can get inside your own head. And not everybody can hit a ball like fucking Evan McPherson. That dude bombs balls.
Oh, yeah.
And there is zero. He's going full swing every single time. His old coach at Florida, Shane Graham, former NFL kicker at Cincy, and I think he went to Virginia Tech, and he kicked around other places. Now I don't know what he's doing. He's coaching in college, I think, or he's running a consultant. Whatever the case. He was coaching at Florida, and he said there was a story about Evan McPherson where they had like a 38-yarder, and somebody jumped off sides, 5-yard penalty, backed it up to like a 43-yarder. And then something else happened, it backed up another 5 or 10, and it got to like 52 yards, and they were in between the thing. And Evan said, hey, can we get one more so I can get like a record? Like, I guess like 57. So that type of mental makeup of not even like, oh shit, this is going to be a harder kick, just immediately going to, oh, this is going to be sweet, this is going to be sweet, we're going to the AFC Championship, is the reason why he's just had walk-off after walk-off after walk-off. The way Joey Burrow described him the first day he walked into the building. He said whenever he walked into the building, the way he interacted with guys, we knew what we had. He was cool, he was upbeat, he was confident. He said we knew what we had. And him saying, we're going to the AFC Championship, boys, is fucking glorious and beautiful. Congrats to the Bengals.
Yeah, who day?
Who they say going to beat them Bengals? I thought it was going to be the Titans at home. Felt like there was a lot of energy in the air there. For whatever reason, their season ends. And Vrabel was quoted as saying, yeah, too many sacks. We had too many sacks, maybe. Because I like turnovers and fumbles and picks. I like those. So maybe we had too many sacks. That was the thing. I'm excited to see how these teams all react to, because getting to the final 8 is obviously an accomplishment. You're better than a lot of teams. But you didn't win. You just actually got 2 weeks shorter of vacation in the offseason. You did get 2 more checks, which is awesome. Some places, I guess.
Whoa.
What do you mean?
No. I mean, that's that's big conversation.
It'll pop up somewhere down the road, I'm sure.
I mean, there might be some business fuckery going on. Whatever the case.
Yes.
You don't win the Super Bowl, it's still in the end like a failed season, especially whenever you got those incredibly high hopes So what a fucking weekend.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, the Bengals, like you just said, like, who cares if you don't win the Super Bowl? But they're so young across the board. Like, if you're a free agent, wide receiver, lineman especially, it's like, hey, I could probably go in there. They got a bunch of guys still on their rookie deal, including Burrow, and help that team a lot. So the Bengals feel like the team, even if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, their future is so bright.
Yeah, and the AFC North is just fucked, dude.
Uh-huh.
You know
whole
what I mean?
AFC.
Was that, bud?
The whole AFC is fucked.
Yeah, the future is very, very bright in the AFC. I mean, because not only is Joey Burrow definitely a guy,
Oh, yeah.
and Josh Allen is definitely a guy,
Yeah, unbelievable.
and Patrick Mahomes is obviously already a guy.
Well, I'm just joking around. Of course he's a guy.
Whoa.
Come on. He's got a Super Bowl.
Whoa.
He's got a Super
Lamar's
Bowl.
got an MVP.
Herbert,
Herbert's
yeah,
pretty
and
good.
Herbert there. Chargers got a lot of salary cap. Yeah, so the AFC is going to be tough, but the Bengals, I fucking love watching them play.
Yeah.
That's a cool team to root for, I think. Obviously, we hope that the team does invest in them to continue their winning ways. And then Saturday night, the game that everybody thought that I was ducking, dipping, diving, and dodging. I was not, okay? Saturdays are nice catch-up days for me. R&R, all right? That's normally what Saturday is. During the college football season, I'll watch, but I'm
Snoozing.
I'm out for
Yeah.
it, and then I'm up for it, and then me and the wife will do something. And Saturday's a nice day to catch up on, a lot of relaxation. So when the NFL starts coming this Saturday, it's not the easiest, especially if the game is boring as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, especially if it is a beautiful snow globe that's almost like captivating you and you're getting into a little bit of a trance. I fell asleep, for that fourth quarter. I thought we were going to win. And by we, I mean the Green Bay Packers. I mean, granted, the offense looked abysmal.
Yeah, bad.
Absolutely abysmal. For whatever reason, whatever the Niners defense was doing, it was working. It was helping. Aaron did not play his best football, obviously. Nobody did, it felt like. And then the special teams was always a problem. I mean, we've chatted about it a bit. I woke up on Sunday morning, a lot of people coming after me and Throw Rogan.
What? I can
A
imagine.
lot of people coming after me and Throw Rogan.
I can imagine.
I was being told that, oh, you're real quiet over there. Quiet. Yeah, Actually, I think I'm snoring because I got a little bit of congestion. I don't think I'm that. I passed out. I woke up. I watched the fourth quarter back. What the fuck? I think you have to give so much credit to that Niners defense for whatever it did or does to Aaron in the playoffs that have taken them to 4-0 against Aaron in the playoffs. And then you got to give credit to the fucking Niners special teams taking advantage of a glaring weakness for the Packers, although the Niners special teams has not been amazing all season. The Packers haven't either. And I do know the special teams coach over there. That does not mean that I can't just point out the fact that holy shit, it is ugly over there.
Yeah.
Has been for a long time. You can't have 10 players on the field for the game-winning field goal. That can't happen.
Not ideally.
Yikes.
That can't be. Your season can't end with your last play of your franchise in the divisional round. We didn't even have enough fucking players on the field. Okay, so that is just a bad look all across the board. Also, the snapper for the punt that got blocked back up in his own never, ever even looked like he was attempting to sink his hips and even fight back. But that's going to happen whenever they put a fucking D lineman right over top of the snapper. That's great scheming. That's great movement. I don't think Bajorquez did anything wrong there. His block point appeared to be about at the 2-yard line. Ball snapped at the 12. That seems to be about the same. But that thing getting blocked, them scooping and scoring, complete game changer. And then you can obviously look back to the end of the half when the Niners blocked the field goal from a nice chop and shoot, and it appeared as if the end and the tackle right on top of each other, and the wing did not even do a pivot step. The wing just kind of stood exactly where he was at. And there's different techniques for everything. The one that I've been around through a couple different special teams coaches is the wing who's the farthest out. So it goes wing, end, tackle, guard, snapper, mirror that on the other side. The wing is normally supposed to step down behind the end's outside foot and then left foot out if they're on the left side, and then their eyes are on one. Okay, so one is the one coming in. So normally step down to block that hole or gap with your right leg, help out at least. You're just trying to slow people down. Then you're stepping out here and you're trying to get the one to just go around the hoop a little bit so that in 1.25 seconds, 1.3 seconds, the kick is good. The wing just sat there. I mean, he didn't even move. His one, the guy that he's supposed to have, did not block it. So I guess he's like, hey, job fucking well done there. I don't know how, if that's what they're teaching. I don't know what that case is. And then the end, which is right next to the wing, he's basically stacked up behind the tackle. So I guess they might have thought that there was something heavy coming. But in doing so, there's a natural gap there that's already there. And the two shooting through is in a lot of strategies of field goal block. That's why the pivot down is normally a pretty big part to block the body. And then the end is normally going to use its left hand to do this. So it's the leg of the wing, hand of the end. You're supposed to block that entire thing. Chop, hand, no leg.
No.
That thing was a fucking scot-free block. I mean, absolutely zero problems at all. And the chop and shoot is a distant relative to the pull shoot, which is vastly illegal and different, where you grab somebody and literally just pull them and then somebody shoots in behind. Happens in punts, happens in field goals. That just seemed to be a block before the play even started, and that's even more strategery by the Niners special teams, just like in the punt block, that deserves to be like, hey, that's fucking good special teams football.
Good on you.
And on the opposite side, that's bad special teams
Pretty
football.
bad special teams
Bad.
football.
So, bad special teams. Offense isn't really doing anything. I think the defense had a fucking
Played unbelievable.
unbelievable game. They don't deserve to be out of there. But as an owner of the Packers, you got to think, what does next year look like? We are in a bad spot salary cap wise. Aaron came out and said, I have my conversation with Goody. We'll see how that goes. I assume he's going to be on here tomorrow. I have nothing telling me that he won't be, but what a bad time to be a Packer right now.
Terrible.
You guys are supposed to go on fucking run. We're supposed to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We're supposed to go to the Super Bowl. And now you got to think to yourself, the Niners are going to be a tough out for anybody with the way they play football out there.
Yeah, very deflating, I think, is the best way to. But like you said, we've been talking about the special teams all year, and typically Rodgers is good enough to overcome whatever blunders they make. But the thing that's so frustrating is that first drive, they were just firing on all cylinders, march right down the field, score a touchdown. Defense, who hasn't been great against the run, everyone's talking about how the Niners are going to run it down their throats. They played probably their best game of the season. Sacked Jimmy G on third down like 8 times, it seemed like. They get that next possession, fumble, and then the game just completely changed after that. Like, it seems like they don't make any in-game adjustments, and you like look at LaFleur. But like I was telling these guys, like I don't understand how that happens. When you go right down the field, you do whatever you want, you score a touchdown, and then they make adjustments on the other side, and you just can't do anything the rest of the game. It just doesn't make sense. And then obviously Bakhtiari not playing like that.
What happened there? Because he had
ended
that
up
whole
being fucking massive. Yeah, he had the video.
Guess who's
I'm
back?
Bach.
back again.
Bakhtiari.
Bach is back. Tell a friend.
Man.
And he played in the final regular season game that meant nothing. He played like a quarter or a couple drives or whatever, got his feet back under him. What happened over the 2 weeks they couldn't play? That's a big deal, especially with that Niners D-line. And we got to give credit. I mean, Bosa was pissing at some high school, I guess, in Wisconsin.
saw that.
A lot of pictures of him pissing somewhere. Everybody, there's kids around. Well, was there a bathroom in the area? I'm not. Listen. I wasn't there, but attacking a guy who has to piss.
He's got to piss.
Whenever but maybe he shouldn't have.
Everyone's pissing and dying in Wisconsin.
Everybody is pissing. True. Hey, everybody, I will say, everybody in that fucking state's pissing.
Everyone's pissing.
All right?
I'd love to piss up there.
That was interesting. But Bosa's a fucking freak show.
Oh, yeah.
That whole D-line, absolute freak show. And if you have Bakhtiari in there, maybe it is a little bit different. Maybe the game is drastically different. There's a couple plays where Aaron, misses some guys. I wonder if it's because he's not comfortable. Like, we'll have to ask him. Like, is he just trying to get it out to who he thinks is going to be ready because of the amount of pressure that the Niners were able to put on him? And by the way, once again, shout out to the fucking Niners.
Yeah, shout out.
Because that shit doesn't just happen.
No.
That doesn't, you don't just roll the ball out and then all of a sudden you get pressure. There's a lot of shit that goes into that, which with the way Shanahan has kind of dunked on McVay, for a while, Rams hosting the
6-0.
Yeah, Rams hosting the Niners and LaFleur as well. I guess Shanahan, because they're all on that Washington football team.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Buddy.
Yeah.
didn't see it.
Hey, LaFleur looked bad in some of those.
Yeah, he did. Amazing what can happen when you become a head coach.
I did see a tweet where two
watch.
of them were singing a song, and LaFleur was in the middle not singing a song. It was a pretty good tweet.
Yeah, but that particular clip, I think, should have had, if they're going to redo that, it should be McVay and LaFleur singing a song and Shanahan just doing the
being the marionette.
doing this to them, because that seems to be the case. In that Niners team, they got dogs, dude.
They do.
And I don't know why we haven't given them as much credit. Did they stink this year?
They lost to the Colts in that rain game, and they were like 2-5 to start out the year.
Jimmy
and then-
was hurt. Trey Lance was in and out. It was. They had secondary injuries. It was weird. It was.
I was honestly thinking about that while I was watching that fucking Packer game. I was like, man,
Yeah.
we did not talk about the Niners at all this year. And then I was reminded by Niners fans. Oh, how about the team you never talk about, blah, 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 losing to the team that you are basically an advocate for. I'm like, well, I'm definitely a Packers fan. I mean, a guy that comes on the show every single week has become a friend of ours. He's playing in there. We hope he does well, just like we hope all of our friends do well.
Yeah.
We want George Kittle to do well. Not that he would consider us friends, but we would like him to do well.
Hell yeah, Kirk's dog.
Kirk's dog.
Jimmy
Come on,
too.
Jimmy G. We talk about Jimmy G all the time. That's
Jimmy
the
G.
family.
Former Patriots.
Let's not forget they barely got in. Was it overtime in the last week against the Rams?
Yeah, so we missed on the Niners, but everybody, including us, I think, said all year, hey, that team can run the ball, so they get in the dance. You know, you never know what they're going to be able to do. Now, they didn't have that much success doing that in the playoffs against the Packers defense. Their special teams and their defense win them goddamn game there, but they have that ability to win. They have that ability to make it happen, and that's a scary team to play against, especially, you know, if you're not letting their fans buy any tickets. Yeah,
Debo's not
Smart.
happy.
yeah, Debo, he says, this is crazy, dog. Hey, this is crazy, man, what they're doing. They're shutting down. They got geolocators on people buying tickets for this upcoming Rams-Niners NFC Championship game in SoFi. The Rams have a chance to host the NFC Championship game and then the Super Bowl. The NFL is thinking to themselves, oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh my God. We brought two teams into this goddamn city, hoping one of them would at least be good, because there are so many people in this city. And every single owner has some sort of house or land here, because it is the place where dreams come true. They all have Malibu places. They want to have the NFL headquarters over there. For years and years and years, there was always a carrot dangled in front of every other city that this team will pick up and go to fucking LA tomorrow if you don't want to buy us a new stadium. The fact that they have a team in LA, two teams in LA, they have a brand new stadium, they have the NFC Championship game there and the Super Bowl there, I would assume there's a lot of back patting and clapping for themselves in the NFL office in New York. But that Rams team is showtime. Odell Beckham Jr. before the game said it's like Pro Bowl. It's like a Pro Bowl practice basically every day. With the amount of stars they have, we know when we got to work, but it feels good in the way McVay handles it. He loves it out there. And you heard every single report basically from a teammate about Odell Beckham Jr. came out and said, everybody thinks he's a diva and selfish and a bad teammate. We don't believe that at all. He fucking works his ass off. He is a superstar, so he does deserve to be treated in a little bit different manner, but we love him out here. Maybe he's a new OBJ, or maybe he's finally getting a chance to really be his true self out there, and they're taking advantage of that.
Well, it would make sense if he was a little bit more humble after he's allegedly making as much as like a sixth grade PE teacher now. You know, he doesn't have the big contract tied to him. It's like, hey, I'm making $33,000 a year. I can't be out here dancing on people's graves and not practicing hard.
So what Ty Schmidt is referring to is interesting, because I wonder how like the vet men weighs in on this particular type of deal. So Odell Beckham Jr. Took his money in Bitcoin. So I would assume the NFL gives him his money, then it just goes straight into the Bitcoin. Not the NFL just actually buying Bitcoin and sending him Bitcoin. So all these people that say, I'm taking my contract in Bitcoin, they're taking all their money from their contract and putting it into Bitcoin.
Yes.
The reason why there has to be a separator there, I think, and somebody with a bigger brain than me, which there are a lot of those out there, would have to tell me, with the way the vet min is set up with the NFLPA in the NFL, I'm not sure that he would be able to accept how low amount of money that he is accepting from this season, because as soon as he signed with LA and said, I would like my money in Bitcoin, the future, crypto, unregulated market, this is the wave of the future. When I get into the metaverse, I'm going to be using the shit out of this NFL Rams times salary. I'm going to be buying. It started tanking.
Yeah, big time.
And it has gone down a lot. I forget the amount of billions, 150 billion maybe has been lost in crypto over the last few weeks since the Bitcoin drop has happened. Is that the number?
shit.
Yeah,
150 bill.
150 billion has been lost.
Oh my God.
Where'd it go?
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, it's all
Where did it go?
it's all for gay, so who knows?
Listen, I love, pioneers.
Absolutely.
I love trailblazers. I love people that are changing and making the world better and evolving and everything. I absolutely fucking love it. I have never understood this Bitcoin.
Nope.
I have tried my absolute best. I've talked to people that are all in on Bitcoin, all in on Bitcoin.
Talking all in.
Okay, I've talked to people, and I can never, my dumb brain could never get it. I watched a documentary, I think, on Prime, I'm not 100% sure, about the original Bitcoin writer, a Japanese man named, I forget what it is, and then there's the entire blockchain situation, and I even got a chance through that documentary, got to see the vault that's in the middle of the Alps somewhere, down in the, and I'm like, where it's,
How?
Where
What's going
is
on?
it?
Yeah.
So it goes down and up. Who's deciding it goes down? Well, the market. Well, isn't it just exactly like the stock market then? Who controls what that goes up? Well, that's regulated. This is non-regulated. This is for everybody. It was like, well, so who is
regulated?
So who is doing it? I can never understand it. And I'm dumb. Okay, there's people out there that get it a lot more than I do. I've talked to the people that are mining these. I have tried my best to wrap my head around it. I've never understood it, never got into it that big. Obviously bought some just to kind of ride the wave so I could see what's going on. But I assume it's going to come back.
Well,
I assume Bitcoin's going to come. And we can't, hey, well, let's go Bitcoin.
You know
what they
All
say.
right, let's go Bitcoin.
buy that dip. Might have to go in and get myself one.
Do it for Odell.
What's that?
Do it for Odell.
Oh, I thought you said Adele, who canceled her entire
Yeah.
thing. She had some pissed off women.
She was
yeah.
upset.
One of them was in my house.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Adele was upset, but there was some others.
I can imagine.
That was residencies.
Just watch the 60 Minutes thing on CBS.
I heard her
The same
talking.
thing.
On Bitcoin or on Adele?
On Adele. I bet there's one on Bitcoin, too, though.
I assume there is. I'm just not smart enough. And there's times like these where I get pumped that I'm not smart enough.
Yeah.
You know, like these are times because... And I'm not pumped for the people that are all in. I have friends that are all in, and they are not experiencing great times right now, I guess.
No, and one of your friends who's also all in happened to just lose a divisional playoff game, too, which is kind of a bummer as well.
Oh, yeah, because Aaron is in the crypto.
Yeah, that's right. I'm guessing he doesn't have all his money in the crypto.
No.
He's got the Bucks.
Maybe we just start talking to him tomorrow about all his investments.
Yeah.
Hey, you should rethink.
Can you explain the blockchain to me? Now, know that once you do, I'm not going to get it. I'm still not going to get it. But when I came into the NFL in 2009, first time with any money at all that would warrant a conversation of, oh, what are we going to do with this money for the future, as opposed to just pay the bills, get the next month, right? That's kind of the money life that I grew up in, and I think a lot of people had. So that's the first time getting a chance to talk with all those financial advisors of people pitching that, hey, we can manage your money. I'm like, well, I'm just going to let you know that there's probably zero chance of me just handing my fucking money over to somebody. I worked my ass off. We got it. Like, I understand you can make more of it, but also I don't know if I'm ever going to have this again. So it's going to be tough for me to do it. Good luck in there, though, whenever, the whole sell. And me and CFO Phil would sit with these people, and Phil, very, very intelligent, especially with money and everything like that. And as soon as this whoever started speaking over my head, it was over. I mean, it was absolutely over. Phil would say, thank you so much for coming. We'll probably not go. We'll let you know. It's not you, it's us or whatever. Signing with nobody. But what all those people didn't tell me about was just a year before that, the entire thing crashed. And everybody I was around that had money had lost so much money. All of their money was lost in 2008 with the people. So I grew up with no, hey, what are we doing future-wise with the money? Then I get money. All the people I'm around that have money, they're like, lost so much money last year.
Yeah.
So then people were like, oh, you need to get into the stock market or whatever. I'm like, I don't think so. And now, granted, might be a detriment to me long term. Everybody that's smart has told me that in the money business. But also, I don't wake up someday and my shit's just cut into 1/3. And it's like, no, it'll come back. It'll come back. It's like, I hope so.
Yeah, right.
But who's saying that? I'm going to go buy a wrestling ring.
Smart.
All right, you guys hope that thing comes back. I'm going to go buy a wrestling ring. Back to Odell Beckham Jr., fucking dominant. I assume they're going to sign him to a big deal long term. And how will they be able to dance around the salary cap? We're not 100% sure. Let's get to a break. We'll be back on the other side, breaking down the incredible games of this past weekend.
Best weekend ever.
Best weekend of football ever.
Truly.
Let's raise our glasses Hey, Roger Goodell in the NFL, you gave him hell, and we wish you well. Here's the championship weekend being just a little bit like divisional round. Because, man, that was awesome. Wish I could give you a pound.
Thank you, Raj.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Roger. And your refs, by the way, didn't fucking stink.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, Hockey League got a little Hockey League.
Yeah.
However.
That's in the blood.
By the way, I like him doing that.
Yeah.
I like him explaining that this penalty actually happened about 1/8 of a second after the ball hit the ground. So play is over. This is after the play, personal foul, 15-yard penalty, still Rams fucking ball. Boo! Get over it.
All right.
Get over it. And watch the replay. I wish you would have said, watch the replay back. It's about 1/8 of a second. We saw that with our own fucking eyes. That's good officiating. First down, Stafford.
Play ball.
I enjoy that type of stuff, but they were starting to get a little. I like that they let the Tyreek Hill peace sign eat.
Yeah.
Knowing the moment. That was a big time play and a big moment. Let's not make this about us. Let's go ahead and let this happen. I like that. I think the ref's done good.
Yeah.
Congrats to the refs.
Nice job, boys.
Let's just get them the ref every single game, every weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll fuck up and we'll hate them next week. But good on you for contributing to the greatest divisional round in history. We'll see you in 4 minutes. All right, listen. Okay? I fell asleep before that fourth quarter last night, all right? A lot of people are saying I got a little quiet. Well, so quiet I was fucking passed out. A lot happened. Packers lose. Yikes. A lot of people on the internet start attacking me. They start attacking the immunized guy who plays quarterback for the Packers. It was a long night. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Actually, it was pretty quick for me. I fell asleep. A long morning catching up with everything and everybody. I watched the final quarter. Block punt in there for a tud. And Robbie Gould, who's been as true as time, makes a kick. A lot of for the brand stuff, a lot of bad for the brand stuff. But Tuesday should be electrifying. All right, listen, okay? I'm now officially 0 for 3 in selections of the divisional round weekend. I thought the Titans were going to win. Nope, Joey Burrow and Evan McPherson. I thought the Packers were going to win, but no, the Niners and Bob Gold. I thought the Bucks were going to win, but no, the Rams and Matt Gay. Kicking matters in the biggest games. So all you little fugazi punks out there that bash the brand and bury kickers, it matters when it matters. And when it matters is in the biggest fucking moments. Congrats to the kickers making their kicks. Congrats to these players making plays. That last game was insane. I can't wait to see what happens tonight. Probably 4 for 4 on kickers winning the goddamn games, though. You want to go to the championship? Make a kick. The Jacksonville Duval Jaguars are dead. And I think that is something that is a shame. But we should at least have a moment of silence, I guess, for the Urban Meyer-led Jacksonville Jaguar squad. He chose one time not to fly back home with the team after a loss. Said, I gotta see the grandbabies. That's right. The only babies he saw were those young ladies at the shop house that week. Devil. He had to answer a lot of questions about that, but then he got back on track and started coaching football.
Oh, yeah. Forget about the fingers.
And they won. They won a game in London. How'd they win? It's because they forgot about the fingers. That's right. And then they came back to America. And they lose. And they lose. And they lose. And they lose. And anonymous sources say, this guy fucking stinks. He's laughed out of meeting rooms. Everybody wants to smack him in the mouth.
Attitude reflect leadership, Captain.
Have a little mirror therapy, pal.
A little bit.
You stink.
You guys ever get yourself one of these? I didn't think so, you losers.
Hey, this one from high school, this one from college, and this one right here, middle fingers open for the NFL. If any of you would stop fucking me over.
Goddamn right.
That's what we're trying to get. Hey, you, defensive coordinator.
What's that?
You got any of these?
No, I don't. I don't, Coach.
I thought you were a fucking loser.
I'm sorry,
You need to
Coach.
stop by the job. Anyways, they're dead. Hey, welcome back to the show on this Overreaction Monday, January 24th, 2022. What a fucking weekend of NFL football.
What a weekend.
Big thank you to the NFL for having such a great divisional round after having 4 of 6 wild card games being absolute blowouts. The boys are here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor, at Tone Diggs. I guess there was 61,000 concurrents just a little bit ago.
Whoa.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? How's your family? Anyways, a lot of people talking about how whenever we chatted about the overtime rules, that is kind of overshadowing how great the Kansas City Chiefs are. Yeah. And listen, Darius Butler, who's going to be joining us next hour, has already quote tweeted my earlier conversation about the overtime rules, kind of ripping us off.
Oh,
What are you talking
D-Bot.
about?
Well, D-Bot said Buddhist, man. I don't know what his exact take is. I cannot wait to hear it. I assume what D-Bot's going to say is the defense should be able to win you a game. Yeah. The defense should be able to get a stop and get Josh Allen back on the field. The defense should be able to at least hold him to 3 points. What's the defense doing? Well, at that point, I think the defense was a bit tired. I think they literally just got done getting buzzsawed because the Kansas City Chiefs, once again, by the way, is the Kansas City Chiefs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, watching Patrick Mahomes and watching Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and Andy Reid drawing up plays that just make their offense always electrifying. Now, what happened after the game with Mrs. Mahomes dousing people with champagne in a celebration as if she was in a locker room or at a club on her birthday. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you've ever been in a club on a birthday and you happen to be in the table area where said person is spraying, whenever you hit somebody that wasn't necessarily in the birthday party, they are not happy that they are getting doused with some sticky substance.
Very angry.
I have stood on couches before. I've stood on couches like this. Hey, happy birthday! Woo. And somebody decides. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We're back. Somebody decides to start spraying it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Once you're in the moment, you're hey, this is awesome. And then you look out to who's potentially getting hit. They don't think it's as awesome.
No, not fun.
They don't think they aren't as happy about another trip around the sun normally as the table is. But it's a birthday, so I guess we'll just move on. I love the fact that Mrs. Mahomes said, hey, these people aren't going to be upset. No. We're all in this goddamn thing together. Not going to spray myself or anybody else in here.
No.
You see this goddamn product? Okay, I ain't doing that. But look at the peasants out there. We fucking did it. Chiefs Kingdom. And then Jackson Mahomes is obviously, gassing it up.
Filming it.
Yeah.
Classic Maggie and Jackson.
Dude, let's have a good time. And then there's some Chiefs fans down there that are so caught up in the electricity of the moment that probably, is it raining?
Yeah.
Is it snowing? They're just getting this freezing cold shit drop on their head. They look, this, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But it felt like it was all jubilation.
Yeah.
And anybody with the last name of Mahomes in Kansas City, I'd assume is going to be good forever.
Free pass. Sure.
Forever, because the way that dude plays football, the way he responds, the way that first drive, Josh Allen goes down there and they show Patrick Mahomes with obviously a big pullover sitting on the heated thing, and his face was just waiting almost. That fucking it factor is goddamn impossible to find. 13 seconds. The Buffalo Bills decide to run like fence post defense when the Kansas City Chiefs have 2 timeouts. That is egregious.
Yeah.
Okay, and Leslie Frazier, I believe, is D coordinator. He's done a great job. Obviously, that defense, number 1 defense all year. Leslie Frazier has done a great 0 Pro Bowlers. Zero Pro Bowlers.
Pro Bowlers.
But running the fence post on the outside, saying, hey, they can't get out of bounds when they have 2 timeouts. That's an interesting thing, and Travis Kelce does it. But watching Pat just flip a switch, or Travis Kelce in that offense, what a fucking time. Good for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
I mean, overtime rules we still believe are shit. Okay?
Wow.
And they have for some time, not just because of the game. Because we do remember the Kansas City Chiefs getting fucked.
Correct.
In a similar situation when it changes. So this is not about Kansas City. We would just like to see overtime be better. I don't want the college rules either.
No.
Everybody's saying, give the college. I don't want that shit, that amateur Bush League stuff either. Like, I don't want that. It's better, I guess, if a team goes down and scores first, but at least the NFL has real football happening. Like real situations, real strategy and scheme. And I guess the only thing is you got to get a fucking stopper, let a field goal happen. Yeah. But on the flip side, Kansas City Chiefs deserve some hey, good on you. They're back. Yeah. The Chiefs is the Chiefs again.
Yeah. For as good as Josh Allen was last night, Patrick Mahomes was just as good, if not better. He is almost impossible to sack at all times. Last night especially, like Connor tweeted he had his PF Flyers on last night. Patrick Mahomes had his PF Flyers on last night. And when we're talking about the overtime rules, we're not 11 times it's happened, okay, in the new rules, Pat. 10-1. If you win the coin toss, you're 10-1.
Yeah.
We can't have it be decided on a coin toss. Okay?
He called tails. As soon as I heard it, I thought to myself, this is a big-time coin toss here.
Yeah. Never fails.
Hope it's tails. That thing hits. I wonder if he did. Josh probably felt the same as I did.
Oh, yeah.
When I lost the $30,000 on the coin toss that Travis Kelce was involved in.
Yeah.
And hit the Super Bowl last year. But, yeah, the coin toss can't have that much sway in things. 10-1, you said?
10-1. Nick said in the tweet earlier today.
Someone said Allen was 9-0 on coin toss.
Yeah, he's never lost a coin toss till yesterday. He lost both of them.
Jeez.
And I get the overtime rule, but if you have the number one defense in the NFL, like this is professional football. You either get a stop or you lose. Like, and I think it's more about the Chiefs.
But it's team football.
If it's anyone but the
team football,
absolutely. But we have talked about before the locker room, the offense and the defense are damn near two different teams.
That's what we're saying. It's team football.
Yeah. So that's their best team. That's the number one defense in football. I know Josh Allen's absurd, but it's way more credit to who the Chiefs are.
I agree. The Chiefs are very. Listen. The Chiefs are unbelievable.
Yeah.
But the overtime rule should not. We should be able. We got ripped off not seeing if Josh Allen would come out there and answer.
Bingo.
That's it. The Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes was a story. This is the story. This is the next 10, 15 years in the AFC. This is the story. We didn't get a chance to see if Josh Allen would come out and answer. And I know the defense has to get a stop. Have to get a fucking stop. Have to get a stop. But at the end of that game, Josh Allen and the offense were carrying that team at the time. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's an interesting thing.
At this point, why don't they just play a full quarter?
Well, that's what Hussey is the name of the ref. Good ref.
John Hussey?
John Hussey, yeah. He's talkative. He gets along. He over communicates almost.
He did say that.
When he said, "Yeah, we're starting a new game.
Yeah.
Each team gets 3 timeouts." Blah blah blah. Well, it's not a new game, Hussey. Okay.
Yeah.
It was a half game. And the half game was if this team scores a touchdown. So because I forgot if they changed the rule for playoffs like a couple years ago.
Same.
I was like,
from the Pats. That's when the last conversation was really about.
When the Chiefs were the ones that presented it, like, hey, this should not be how a game ends. Now, obviously, the Chiefs are on the other side of it, so good on them. But until they put the graphic up over the thing and says touchdown wins game, I was like, oh, I guess they didn't fucking change the rule for the playoffs.
So we've talked about how bad. I mean, the first play, the Bills were lined 20 yards, or the Bills defense was lined 20 yards off of the Chiefs, so they took what they got. And the next one, they decided that the Chiefs didn't have any timeouts when they did.
Oh, this is end of game, not playoffs.
Yeah, sorry.
Not overtime, yeah.
But what about Lombo brings it up all the time, kicking the ball inbounds instead of to take 4 or 5 seconds off, so they only have 9 seconds.
And who was back? I think Tyreek was back, right?
I don't. He was back. He was returning punts at that point. I'm not sure if he was back there for the kicker.
I would assume he would be back there.
I think he was.
So the thought immediately, probably, now I'm not 100% sure, is, okay, if Tyreek Hill's back there, we do not want the ball in Tyreek Hill's hands against our special teams core here. Now, time off the clock is of the essence in that situation as well. So it's whether or not you trust your coverage team, you trust the kick being good, that whole situation. But if Tyreek Hill's back, and I'm not sure if he was, if Tyreek Hill was back there, there was never a time where you're like, you know what? One of the 11 people on the field trying to tackle Tyreek Hill will be the kicker. Like that is that is just not. Now, granted, Matt Hawk made a big time tackle, and he's a great athlete. But Tyreek Hill being on the field, I think, changes everything there. If he is, I'm not 100% sure. If he was, though, that changes everything. If it wasn't Tyreek Hill, I think the decision was right. But every guy can hit a high. Let's keep this thing in place so we can run off at least 5-6 seconds there, depending upon how long of a run it is. It's a crazy situation.
Well, it's the same thought for the kickoff team, though, right? Like, if Tyreek Hill's back there, you should be putting Poyer and Micah Hyde and your best defenders, your best tacklers.
Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure how often they work on, like, coverage lanes on kickoffs. And you would assume, like, hey, football player, you can understand this. But that is a completely different – that's a completely different game. Now, Patriots, I believe, have like some starters that play. I'm not.
We have some, but we also we have guys strictly for special, like Slater and Bethel.
No, yeah, everybody has a special teams core.
Yeah.
But I think some starters play, and they probably practice, right? So they like practice what they're doing at least. Like, hey, if you see this, block coming, like, hey, you got to at least shade inside of that whole thing. It's a different strategy than just, hey, our best guys run. Yeah. But with that being said, all hands on deck there. Last play of the game here, we might go to the fucking AFC Championship. Yeah. It's insane to think about all those little minor details.
The starters weren't doing a great job of tackling Tyreek Hill either.
Yeah.
Nobody does a great job of tackling Tyreek Hill.
I mean, when he took off on that touchdown, it looked like everyone else was running in mud. Like, it is unbelievable. When he really turns it on, there's no one in the NFL like him. It's absurd.
When I saw him returning punts, I could feel the shit brewing inside of Hawk's stomach.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you walk out there, back to return, Tyreek Hill. Oh, no. What the fuck? You haven't returned kicks in years, dude. What the hell are you doing back here?
Especially when you have to kick it twice. Yeah. The penalty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then we're going to do a re-kick. No fun at all. That was like whenever, Steelers were up like 17 or whatever in the fourth quarter. And my shoes were untied.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no way we're going to have to punt, right, Chuck? We can't punt. Oh, unless quarterback gets a sack on third and it's 4th and 20-something. Okay, let me tie my shoes. And then as I'm jogging on the field, back to return, number 84, Antonio Brown. What the fuck is he doing back there? Okay, I don't want to be out here. None of these guys want to be out here. Why the fuck's that guy? And then I look over at Danny Smith, special teams coordinator, chewing his gum. Fucking good luck out there, dude. And obviously, Antonio Brown shakes the shit out of me, scores a touchdown, ends up on the pole, which will live on forever.
Well, that's Antonio Brown. But with those 13 seconds left,
Tyreek Hill too. Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, exactly. What do you do there with 13 seconds? Because you're obviously worried about the Hail Mary with Patrick Mahomes, but you just man coverage.
I think you just got to play. I think you just have to literally just
normal.
play.
Yes.
I think you have to. And I think somebody was saying it. Might have been Stafford. Somebody was saying it to the Rams. Like, hey, you just have to play here. Like, you're not trying to run out the clock here against Tom. Correct. Like, you're going to have to just play. And we grew up in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense was the fucking moneymaker. Then they would go into prevent defense at the end of games. And there isn't a single yinzer that will tell you the prevent defense is worth a single fuck down there. Because prevent defense, the only thing it does is prevent you from winning or whatever. And I guess, I guess every team has that sort of like, let's just keep them in front of us. We'll just give up yards, that whole thing. I've never coached football. My football IQ is nowhere near high enough. I don't know why the fuck that is a good decision in a contact sport, an aggression sport, to tell your defense to basically just kind of back off. I think you lose all edge. It's hard to flip the switch back on, I think. And why would you let the other team get into a rhythm? Obviously, I was on a team with Andrew Luck there for a few years. He would get us, we'd be down 17. We'd be down 14. We'd be down 20. And I don't know if they just wanted to like, hey, just keep it in front of us. But Luck would be like, no, we're back. Like, we are back. You can get got whenever that happens. And it seems like it happens more often than not. But there are some decisions yesterday that were made or this weekend that were egregious on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, the overtime, we can talk about it, but it comes down to those 13 seconds in the game. And the stats about, Josh Allen and Mahomes combined in those last 2 minutes are ridiculous.
25 points scored between the both of them in the last minute, 45 or something like that, I think.
4 touchdowns.
Which is why you got to give Josh Allen another fucking shot at the end of the game.
There's a guy that I've gotten a chance to meet through the WWE who, was maybe in the NFL for a little bit and doesn't watch a lot of the NFL because he lives in his own world or whatever.
Okay.
Got a call from him. So what a game,
Yeah.
What a game,
He was pumped.
He was like, it was. The NFL watching that Chiefs-Bills game kind of wrapping up the entire weekend and then all the games before that, home run for the NFL.
I can't wait to see the fucking viewership numbers on that game.
Oh, they're going to be big.
Yeah.
The NFL is going to put them right back on another desk.
Yeah.
Say, hey, Bezos, when you get back from space, you want to amplify this thing a little bit. I don't know, just give us,
300 billion.
I don't know, like a couple $100 billion, dude.
That's it.
That ain't nothing. For the next 10 years.
Come on. What do you say?
We're going to grow. We're back at hour 2 with AJ Hawk. Darius Butler will join us in more conversation about the greatest divisional round in history. Plus your phone calls on the 5 Energy phone line, 1-833-4-McAfee. We'll see you in 6 minutes. Cheers. because you won the MVP, I think it's time.
I got my guitar back.
Hell yeah.
Was it in quarantine? Did it get COVID? Is it vaccinated or no? The guitar.
Is it Garth?
Laid it all on my roots. I showed up in booze and ruined your black tie hair. I was the last one to show, and the last one to go, the last one you thought you'd see there. I had a surprise, a tear in my eye. Champagne, and I'll be as high as an ivory tower, 'cause you'll never hear me complain, 'cause I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. Guess what? I'll be okay. What a show. Wow. Hell yeah. Woo. That's the show. All right, actually, we're going to wrap up this hour. Let's get to a break. I don't know what song's going to be playing right now, but it ain't us playing Garth with Aaron playing the guitar. Play-by-play legend, Al Michaels.
Yeah!
What's up, man? Oh!
You know, I decided to dress for success.
I respect.
I've been working out all week, baby, just to be your doppelganger. And I got to tell you something. You know, I don't know what the future's going to hold next year, but if you got a spot for me, either in the studio or I could play the role of AJ Hawk as well.
We have room for you wherever, whenever. Okay, so let's dive right into it. You know that I exist. This is awesome.
I love this show.
No.
This is everything I dreamed about, right? No holds barred television. None.
How long you been in the game? TV game? I said forever, but I should have done more research. This is 100% on me.
How about 1968? I did the Hawaii Islanders of the Pacific Coast League. Minor league baseball, then on to the Cincinnati Reds in 1971. That's 50 freaking years ago. Marty Brennaman succeeded me for the next 44. I did 3 years there, and then I went to San Francisco. The Giants tripled my salary. And that's why. And then ABC for 30 years and NBC for 16, and here we are, man.
Hey, after death, what happens, Bill?
What happens after death? I don't know. I have no idea. But I know there's nothing that's mad at me.
That's good.
It's just so stupid. Because he created everything.
Or she.
She. Well, definitely a she, because God doesn't take responsibility for his own actions. What? You set me up. No, I just don't understand. Like, yeah. If you just watch nature videos, you can't believe in a God that cares.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I watched this one time, this fucking baboon or a little monkey. There was a baby gazelle, and they go after him if they can get him. And he got it away from the mother, and the mother can't get rid of the thing, and he just ripped the thing and just started eating the thing alive as it was screaming in agony. And I'm just like, you made something that did that? Or like rabbits? Like their whole fucking purpose is just to be eaten. They have no fucking defense, just fucking hopping around. Just complete jerk-offs, right? And then they just like, their only survival is if we fuck so much. We can stay out in front. Like they're literally designed to keep everybody else alive by being eaten alive.
So you think there's some flaws potentially in the entire...
No, I just think that, I think if there's a God, right, and he made all of this shit, or she, right? Or they, or the deep state, man. I just think that, he did what he did here, and he just moved on.
Hello, my name is Evan Fox, and I am a Lions fan.
loses.
Biggest joke of a franchise ever, dude. Your team blows.
Lions fucking stink.
Oh, shut up, Fox. Lions fucking stink.
The Lions fucking stink, Foxy. Get out of town.
Get out of here with that Lions bullshit, Foxy.
Lions fucking stink, bro.
Foxy, dude. Download FanDuel Sportsbook. The Lions are 11-6 against the spread.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, how you doing? Keep it moving. Hour 2 on this Overreaction Monday, January 24th, 2022. Shall begin immediately following this beat drop from Twine. There it is. Here we go. Todd Schmidt and Boston Connor, the Toxic Table, are here looking fantastic. Good energy from both of them, even though one on the right's heart was taken out on Saturday night in a slow, cold, miserable fashion. We'll have obviously more conversation about all of that. Ty Schmidt, partial owner of the Green Bay Packers. They're out of the playoffs. There's only 4 teams left. They are not one of them. At Tone Diggs, obviously big-time Steelers fan and co-host of Hammer Dahn, a gambling podcast that goes live from this office 15 minutes after this show ends every single day. TJ Watt will join us in about an hour from now.
Oh, yeah, what?
Yeah, TJ Watt.
What?
I'm an alien. Why?
What?
Nobody can block me.
What?
I split 2 guys, made the sack. Why?
Defensive MVP today, offensive MVP tomorrow.
What?
Overall MVP. You get it.
Defensive player of the year.
Tell my agents to fuck off.
What? He'll be on an hour. Darius Butler will join us in 17 minutes. And joining us right now, he's a college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup champion, COVID survivor. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hall. Hey, let's go Centerville Elks. I learned this weekend that you had 31 tackles in a high school game for the Centerville Elks fucking twice. You are a menace. And when I texted him about this, he goes, oh, did I? I don't remember that. The only thing I remember was just being tired in games because he played offense, defense, and was punter.
That's right.
So that means in one of those games, he was running back, punter, and had 31 tackles. Ladies and gentlemen, a fucking machine, AJ Hall. What up, AJ?
I mean, largely because Larry Knopfsinger, my linebacker coach, a legend, was the guy that tallied the tackles. So I'm sure he patted my stats. So thank you, Coach Knopf. I appreciate that.
A lot of JOPs being counted as...
There was no spearing rules back then, no targeting rules either. So, yeah, you're jumping on everything.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, especially with that big old fucking
Hey,
head.
quick, I want to go to the Bills game. Have you guys, I'm sure you've talked about it.
Yeah, but
So
I would like to talk about a different game with you, but let's talk
Okay.
about the Bills game first.
Quickly, because I think you guys, I watched a little bit of the end. I heard you guys talk about the last kickoff. Should you squib it, whatever. So it was Hardman back there, right? It wasn't Tyreek Hill.
It was Pringle.
It was Pringle back there. We
Okay.
actually just did the research there. It was Pringle. I think you do hit either I don't like the squib personally. Never really made sense to me.
I like a pooch down to like the, inside the 10 maybe.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not necessarily an easy ball, but you should be able to kick it. The squib never made sense to me because in the NFL, with how athletic guys are, like even offensive linemen and fullbacks that are out there, that's probably going to be collected early. So the hang time of a squib, even though it's on the ground, we'll just count hang time as how long it takes from foot to somebody's hands, is normally much quicker. It's like 2 seconds real quick, and they're catching it sooner than ever. Well, they might drop it. Yeah, but they're in the NFL. They're probably quick enough to get on it. I never liked the squib, but I think a nice high pooch there, take off like 4 or 5 seconds, would have been the right move, especially if Tyreek Hill's not out there. But, I mean, hindsight's hindsight. You have the number 1 defense in the NFL, 13 seconds. You would hope you wouldn't just let free pass to Travis Kelce as you're trying to fence post everybody inbounds when they have 2 timeouts. How's that happen, AJ?
I don't know, and I know I'm curious about McDermott's comments after the game. I don't know if you saw that. They asked him about not squibbing. He said, "Let's just leave it at execute. It's about execution. I'll leave it at that." Something like that. So I'm thinking, did you assume Tyreek Hill was there, so we're not going to give him a chance, which I completely understand, or he doesn't like his coverage team,
or he asked Tyler Bass to keep it in play.
Yeah, that's possible. Could that happen though? If he's like, "Hey, try to pop this one up, and we don't want to touch back, want to run some time," and he just boots it in the end zone.
Yeah, especially with how cold it is, you got to think the difference between keeping it in between the 5 and the goal line versus maybe 5 deep in the end zone is probably, I don't know, like hitting it 87% or hitting it 95%. And at that moment, you just fucking took the lead. You're Tyler Big Ball Bass. He's like an energy guy. There's a chance that they did ask him to hit one high in the field of play, probably if Tyreek Hill is not there, because I didn't hear that quote. But if that is exactly what he said, I would assume that ball might have been, that was supposed to probably stay in bounds.
Okay.
I would assume.
Yeah. I just assumed when I was watching in real time that they're going to do something to try to run some time off the clock. They're not going to just, give him the 13 seconds. But yeah. I'm sure you guys have talked about like Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey in their post-game presser talking about how Kelsey kind of freestyled that route. He saw how they were playing him. They called a timeout. I saw what what the coverage was. I cut my split down to like a yard. I know Dane Orschelowski did a great job actually today on Get Up or First Take, whatever. What was he wearing? Why was he wearing the jacket?
Because he's fucking going to war, dude.
Stafford, dude. He's Stafford's wingman.
He's
cool.
Goose.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
Okay, I never seen the thing, but Goose is a good guy, right? Goose,
Great guy.
Goose is at the piano.
No,
yeah, Goose is dead.
Yeah,
Goose does die.
Rest in peace, Goose.
Goose gets shot out of the plane.
The canopy didn't evacuate fast enough. He donged his head on there.
His son got fought by a random dude in Hawaii when he was with Aaron.
Yeah. Oh, so
Top Gun 2
is Mai Tai.
Yes, and that is Goose's boy.
Mai Tai is Goose's son.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, is that movie ever coming out? You're friends with Mai Tai, Goose's son.
I don't know. You're friends with Tom Cruise. What does he say?
I'm not friends with Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
I assumed in your high level of income and your stature that you and Tom are boys.
Listen, you've been in the Illuminati a long time. I know a lot of your friends are keeping their eyes out for Ghislaine's list.
Yeah.
Okay, I have not met any of those people. I stay in my own world. But when Travis Kelce is freestyling, I think that happens on a regular basis in that offense. Travis knows what other people are doing, what he's allowed to do, and that's why Patrick Mahomes and he have such a great relationship, because normally those off-script plays, everybody's doing that, but Travis just has an ability to do it in a high fashion. Why are they fence posting out of bounds? Why would that
When they had
happen?
timeouts. They had 3 timeouts, right? The Chiefs
2
did
at least.
the time?
I think 2, yeah.
So, yeah. You don't need to – if they had 0 timeouts, that's what you should play. Absolutely. Do that. Let them catch the ball. You tackle them. Yeah, they'll probably get up there and maybe get one more chance, but don't let them get out of bounds no matter what you do. The fact that they had timeouts and they were still doing that, it was also great execution by Pat Mahomes to look it off. He kind of had a little pump because he wanted to throw it earlier and Kelsey was still setting it up, and it was just a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, it was an incredible play, and great players make great plays, and you can hindsight everything as being stupid, but if they somehow jump a route when Patrick is trying to go out of bounds and the number 1 defense in the NFL gets a stop there, Josh Allen is thrusted into here we go, it's now Josh Allen's AFC. This defense, who had no Pro Bowlers, was able to stop Patrick Mahomes when they had to, but instead here we are, a coin toss into overtime. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and the boys get the ball. They go down and score. Now it's the Buffalo Bills who yet again lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. They have played 3 times in the last year. Final score, cumulative score, if we were Europe, that's how congregative.
That's right.
Yeah. Aggregate. There it is. Aggregated score, 100-98, those 2 teams.
Pretty evenly matched squads, huh?
Yes.
Well, and Josh and Patrick, I think the entire team knows, hey, our quarterback is going to be judged against this quarterback forever. This is how this is going to go. And remember years ago, who could throw the ball further? Mm-hmm. Who's more athletic? We talked to Josh last week. He said he has a good relationship with Patrick, has a lot of respect for Patrick Mahomes. He's already won the big one. But those games always live up to the hype, it feels like. And that thing ended in overtime the way it did. I think everybody's bummed about. Darius Butler's going to be joining us in like 9 minutes, AJ. I guess he's not happy with how we spoke about the overtime rules being dumb. Why is that? Is that a defensive mindset that the defense has to make a fucking play? Hold him to a field goal, get off the field. Your team deserves to win. If you can't do that, you deserve to lose. Is that why he's thinking that? You thinking, is that a natural defensive thought?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Like, I'm just sick of the talking about rules and changing rules, and I knew it was going to happen instantly. Oh, Josh Allen doesn't get a chance to touch the ball. Yes, that's how it works. It's not fair. Life's not fair. It's football. But I do like – people don't know, didn't it used to just be sudden death? If you kick a field goal, you win, right?
Yeah, and then they change it to
now they change it to if you kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession. But if you score a touchdown, game over. I think that when I sit there and look at it, that's pretty good to me. I don't know.
Chiefs fans were upset that we talked about the overtime rules at all being stupid. We've been talking about the overtime rules and many other rules for a long time. Okay, that is a major part of the program.
Yeah, that's right.
Trying to make the game better. But in this particular case, the Chiefs deserve all the accolades. They're the fucking Chiefs. The Chiefs is the Chiefs again. It was awesome to watch. But also, in this fairy tale land where everything is how it should be, and I wish that was the case, seeing if Josh Allen could come fucking answer would have been awesome.
Yeah.
That would have been.
It would have, but also they have to take into account, like, could you have different playoff overtime rules? Like, they don't want you to have one 15-minute extra quarter because I think it's more wear and tear on the players and they're looking out for player safety. So could you change it for the playoffs?
So I think the Chiefs pitched that. I think the Chiefs actually pitched that because the Patriots did this to them years ago, and we were left wondering, will this young gun, this young star, Patrick Mahomes, would he be able to come out and answer fucking Tom Brady in this situation in the overtime and in playoffs? I think the Chiefs actually pitched different rules for playoffs than there is in the regular season because what you just said about another full quarter being a lot wear and tear. If you have a couple of those games, that's a whole new half. That's 17 and a half games that people are playing and the body can't take it. But for the playoffs, it just feels like we should get a chance to see somebody answer. But Darius feels differently. I'm excited to feel why that is the case. And also listening to everybody, want to change rules, I can see how that can get a bit tiring. But shout out to the refs this weekend, AJ.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Yeah, they didn't decide the games, did they?
No, they didn't make themselves the game, which a lot of those motherfuckers did for a lot of the year.
Hey, I thought for sure when I saw old Tyreek throw up the deuce, I was like, uh-oh.
Yep.
They're going to call it. And I was so happy they didn't call it.
Yeah, we all were. But actually, the first hour we talked about knowing the situation, knowing how big of a play that was in the moment, knowing what the game was doing, two legacies on the line. Why would we want this flag to be the story of the game? Why would we want? I like the self-awareness by the refs saying, nah, this is.
They'll just act like they didn't see it, right? Don't you think they can say, "Oh, I didn't see it. I was chasing the ball."
I guess, but I hope whenever they get home, they actually tell their friends and family, there's no reason for us to fucking slow that down. It's actually pretty sweet. Did you see him?
The guy was in front of him.
He was running one-handed past the guy. I mean, he didn't even use his other hand in form running. He didn't even say, "No, excuse me, I need to say see you later, cuz." He's unbelievable to watch, Tyreek Hill.
He's so fun to watch, man. That dude's watching his legs work and it just bounce around and he never gives up on a play, that's for sure.
Well, and it's the entire Chiefs squad. They're back. This is what we bet on the Chiefs for every single week during a regular season because they have the ability to flip the switch and go. And once Patrick Mahomes starts getting the crowd and he starts vibing, and he's in there, are you not entertained? And him running for however many yards he ran for early there, it's just, that team is fucking awesome to watch. I wish I was seeing if Josh Allen could have came back out and did that. But hey, I'd bitch about it if it went the other way too. I had some people coming out. I would have bitched about it like, hey, Patrick Mahomes, just like against the Patriots, would have loved to see him come out and answer because that's what we're inevitably going to judge these people's characters on forever. Can they rise to the big moment? Can they answer? And I think Josh Allen, when he had to, he went in there and threw a couple strikes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, shout out to Gabriel Davis, who we've been talking about all year.
Oh, yeah. All season long. Great
Weapon. Hey, this guy's going to have 4 touchdowns at some point.
At least.
He's going to go ahead and do that thing. I loved just watching that game. I wish they could play every night. And a lot of people said, well, there's the Super Bowl winner, whoever wins this game going into the weekend. Now people feel even firmer about that thought. But there's a lot of other games that happen, AJ. I was being called spineless earlier today for our take on Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers on the internet. Had to block somebody, actually, because fuck off. I think Aaron did not play his best game. He did not play good football. That was a boring fucking game. The Green Bay Packers defense did their job. The Green Bay Packers special teams did not do their jobs. The Green Bay Packers offense did not do their jobs. And the Niners go into a snow globe in Lambeau and get a fucking big-time dog win. Now they get a chance to go to the Rams and continue their legacy. Bob Gold hits a 45-yard game winner in miserable conditions. Then immediately afterwards says, fuck the Packers. Forever. I enjoy this Niners team. They're a tough out. But boy, what a surprise to see the way that Packers team played, AJ.
Yeah, especially after they came out right out of the gate, and come down, drive down, and score. And you probably weren't thinking, hey, this is the last touchdown the Packers are going to score today. Nope. And so the fact that happened, it just, I don't know what it was. It was just a weird, like, clunky game at times. They got a ton of pressure on A-Rod. So once again, we always want to say, oh, what did the Packers do? Obviously, they had a punt block for a touchdown. They had a field goal block. That was a huge momentum deal to where going into half, the Packers probably should have been up 14-0 because of that Jimmy G pick that he threw. Mm-hmm. And you go in just down 7-0 with a ton of momentum. Debo takes the second half kickoff, boom, gets to like the 50.
Okay, so Big Dog fumbles there in that second drive, probably scored a touchdown there, right? So that's 14.
Yeah.
Maybe they were rolling. I mean, they were running there. Everything seemed to be going well. Not 100% sure if they end up scoring. Maybe the Niners defense gets it figured out. They force a fumble too, so they deserve credit for that entire thing. But then that field goal, that's 17-zip potentially at halftime. I mean, that is, you start.
It feels a lot different than 7-0.
I think so. I think so, absolutely. And instead, there's a chop and shoot where I broke down in the first hour the entire mechanics of most field goal operations with what the wing's supposed to do, what the end's supposed to do, then to tackle the guard in the center. The end was right on top of the tackle if you watch back the film, like literally stacked up behind him. So I think they thought that there was going to be a heavy bull coming through there. And then the wing, I don't think he was told that was happening because there was a clear gap and the wing never moved one time. So they chopped down the end's arm and it was a clear path for old Cuz to come through. I mean, it was one of the clearest paths I've ever seen. We'd have to get a clock on the operation. I assume it was a little bit slower because of how cold it was and everything like that. But that ball's getting blocked regardless. That's a game changer, man. Those 3 points are game changers.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, yeah, what a weird game, too, though. It felt like eventually the Green Bay's offense was going to get it going. They were going to figure it out and score some touchdowns, but they didn't look like they played bad. They just didn't score points.
How come? What do you think it is? Why do you think Aaron wasn't on the top of his game? What do you think it was the Niners' defense, or do you think it was self-inflicted?
I mean, first off, I would give credit to the Niners' D. The pressure they got, they got a ton of pressure, and even if they're not hitting him or getting a sack, like they're making him move around the pocket, not have clear throwing lanes, things like that. So I think that the Niners D, first off, unbelievable, especially after letting them basically go down the field, score in the first drive, the way to rebound and come back and do that, man, it was just super impressive. And also, I'm always weird about like having off time, going in number 1 seed with the bye. We saw both 1 seeds lost. Now, of course, you're not going to lose any games during the regular season. You want to get to that position. But, man, there's something to like fighting your way into the playoffs and then just taking that momentum into the playoffs. I don't know, man. It's something about it.
And what the fuck happened to Bakhtiari?
I don't know. What, I guess he probably, after Detroit, did he not feel great and he just couldn't get back to feeling okay?
Because I thought the 2 weeks were to heal everybody and everything like that. And Bakhtiari has that Bach. The Bach is back.
That's right.
And then that ends up being a big-time storyline, right? The pressure that Aaron's seeing, that's probably getting in the way of a lot of decisions being made. Can't wait to ask him about that whole thing. There's a lot of video and tape coming on the internet of Aaron clearly, either throwing it to somebody that isn't open and missing somebody that's open, which is not normal for Aaron at all. I'm intrigued for our next conversation with old Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, me too. And I think the thing that's so frustrating is, like the offense played like shit. They did, but 10 points should have been enough to win that game. Like
10 points is nowhere near enough points. We all agree.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
But watching that game, it seemed like.
Exactly. I mean, the Niners didn't score an offensive touchdown. Like it just, and for the whole concern going in to be like, hey, like they're going to be able to control the ball and run it down the Packers' throats. Like that's not how their offense wasn't effective at all. That defense played the best game they've had in so long. And it just like the offense had many, many opportunities. I mean, at the end of the game there, even after the blocked punt, it's like, okay, there's under 4 minutes left. Usually this is like, okay, no big deal. They'll have they might not score a touchdown, but they'll milk the clock, go down here, get a field goal, and it never happened. And the longer they let them hang around, it was like, oh, okay, I kind of know how this is going to end up.
A.J. Dillon getting hurt, I think.
Huge.
That was big.
I mean, you saw him run behind his pads early.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big boy to try to stop in the middle of Lambeau, in the middle of the snow globe. Him being out, obviously not good for the team, but they still... Why weren't they able to move like they were? It just seems like Aaron was missing some shit. Obviously, some plays that are going to get called into question. Was there any in-game adjustments people were going to talk about? And hopefully we'll learn it all. But what a fucking outcome there.
Yeah, losing Dillon's huge. And, I like Rodgers, but I really didn't have any, want for the Packers to win or the Niners to win aside from tie, but if it's 10-10 with 4 minutes left and you're the MVP of the league and you need to go get points to win a game, you're the 1 seed, you got home field advantage, your defense has played damn near their best game of the year, you can't go 3-0. Like, you can't win playoff games.
That's how you win a Super Bowl.
Exactly. How many times has Brady been down 7-3, tied, and they need a drive, and they march down the field and score points to win a game in the playoffs?
Except for his last game against the Titans.
His last game against the Titans, but even yesterday.
No, but his last game with the Titans with the Patriots.
Yes, exactly.
His last game against the Titans
different.
With the Patriots, he goes out there, they need a drive. I think it's a pick six.
Pick six, and then they get the ball back, and then I think it's like a 3-and-out.
Immediately after that game ends the way it ends. And I don't want to say that I'm some, human that could think like Aaron Rodgers. I cannot, obviously. I mean, there's a meta level up there that I cannot reach, I don't think. I've tried my best. I mean, I have. I don't know if we'll ever reach it. He's a big universe. Talks to him.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, how do I feel? I mean, if I might be reading this the wrong way, that felt like the universe saying, get the fuck out of here, dude. And I don't know if that is how he took it or not, but the fodder around his future is very loud right now. In the market, if he was to go to the market. Now, he said, I need to address if I want to do this any longer. What do you mean by that? Did he talk about, is that with the Packers? Is that retired as a whole? I mean, there's a lot of questions that are going to have to get answered from Aaron Rodgers. He's probably going to win back-to-back MVPs here, even though they had an early exit. That whole conversation is going to get loud, and that market is going to be a hot one if he is going elsewhere. There's going to be a lot of teams that are like, yeah, he's immunized. Yeah. It's not good. Also, can we get you on our fucking team? Can we get this immunized guy on our squad? I don't know how this is all going to go, AJ. You know him more than any of us, and obviously you're in an interesting predicament yet again because you probably know more than everybody, and you probably don't know what you can say and what you can't say. But that whole situation with Aaron is going to be one that, do we think it's going to happen quickly? He's been alluding to the fact that he'll know early. What do you think whenever you think about Aaron's future?
He told the media before free agency, he's going to make a decision. So when is that? March what?
16th.
Okay, so we still got a little bit of time, don't we? We got a couple months here. We get to mull this over.
But he said he didn't want it to linger, right? Didn't he also say he didn't want this thing to linger around?
Yeah, but what does that mean? He's not going to make a decision within the next 5 days. You know that.
Okay, so there's
Is he?
There's a
piece of
I don't know. You tell it. Put on the ticker, though. AJ Hawk says Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. I'll tell you that. Yeah, I don't think he will retire, say he's coming back to Green Bay, or say he's leaving Green Bay in the next 5 days.
Okay. How about 6? Can we get 6? Maybe
6?
7?
Maybe a week.
Maybe a week.
Or
I'm not playing that game, but yeah. Whatever you want.
Whatever I want. So 10 days? Is 10 days also in the same world?
10 days would count. I'm saying before. Why would we expect it before free agency?
Okay.
We're going to have insider analyst.
AJ, yeah, we do have to analyze the insiderness of AJ Hawk here. But AJ just said he doesn't expect to hear anything until free agency, which is March 16th.
I didn't say that. No, I didn't.
No,
I just said
that's
not
what
in
you
the
just
short
said.
term. In the short term, I don't.
I think he'd probably wait
You
till
said before free agency.
wait to see what Brady does.
AJ,
maybe,
please
too.
be specific.
You're the fucking guy.
I'm not. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking, like in real time.
Okay, let's hear
I don't
it.
think Aaron knows. I would imagine Aaron does not know what he's doing right now.
AJ Hawk also said that. Aaron,
Yeah.
I'd
But don't
imagine-
you think, hey, the way they lost, and everything comes to a sudden halt, either he's saying, get me out of here, or he's saying, I don't want my Packers career to end like this. I'm coming back.
So that's a fascinating thing because Tom's Patriot career ended terribly.
Yep.
Others have ended in a poor fashion. Is that a writing on the wall, or is it, hey, I don't want to do it? Either way you go, you can see the reasoning behind the decision. I guess we'll chat with him here hopefully tomorrow, and I'll do my best journalism. I'll do my best journalism. I'll ask him about some stuff, but I also don't like it. People were sitting on Throw Rogan.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Karen Rodgers came back yesterday.
I mean, they were sitting. They were just.
Are you surprised? Are you surprised?
Well, after the interview with ESPN, I assumed that was only going to get heightened. Some of the things he said.
Came out of nowhere.
I took on Friday. I think that all got dropped. I took a screenshot and sent some to AJ. I'm like, he went directly after the president of the United States. Do you know that? This is This is a wild. Hey, people are going to be loud about that. And they were. And then if you lose, they're all just going to be even more and sitting on it. His haters got very loud. But I will say, I don't think he has a lot of haters in general manager positions around the NFL on whether or not they can get him in the building.
Oh, and to Roger's credit, John Stockton came out and said, "You know what, Aaron? I'm with you, brother. This vaccine is bullshit." And, so he got the greatest point guard in NBA history. That's quoting John Stockton. I'm vaccinated. That's quoting John Stockton.
I'm vaccinated as well.
Yes. Right here.
Vaccinated as well.
Right here. I got it.
Just like everybody on this program, we don't want to be the misinformation brigade.
No, well, according to John Stockton, you guys' days are numbered then.
Well, I'm not a professional athlete anymore.
Correct.
True. Oh, there you go.
I didn't know there were so many sports analysts who were also doctors either.
Well, that's what they say about Throw Rogan. No.
Yeah, true.
All right, let's get to a break. We'll be back in 4 minutes. More games to cover. Darius Butler will be joining us, I believe, in 4 minutes. He was a little bit behind. Dad of the Year stuff, I assume. Cannot wait to chat with him.
Or poop, I don't know.
Zeta did say he was pooping for the last 10 minutes.
Okay, possible.
Hey, I had a good weekend eating too.
Oh, what?
I might have a nice 10-minute what?
Big dumps.
What? How could you not in the middle of that divisional round with how good the football was, AJ? Yeah. I don't know how you remain so committed to your diet whenever such good football is going on. It's like, wow, some chicken nuggets with hot sauce on it would be great right now.
Yeah. But AJ knows there, at any time throughout the day, Bobby Carpenter might be knocking on the door
to check
with a body fat test.
Yeah,
exactly.
Check, Bob.
I mean, how do you know what I was eating during the game?
Well, we can tell because you're always glowing and you're
boiled chicken.
I'm hot here, man. Something's going on in my room up here. So I told you, people are messing with stuff. It's like I can't cool it down.
Hey, I assume you guys in dorm rooms, you would go into people's dorms during training camp, reset their thing for incredibly hot, and then just say, hey, see you later, and then they shut the door and then wake up 2-3 a.m. Holy fuck, is this the hottest dorm room of all time? You guys did that as well? That's just classic dorm room shenanigan?
That would happen to guys. They would get into someone's room before they did, and they would take a dump in the room and turn the heat all the way up. Not to my room. I never did that to anybody else. A big O-line thing. No, because you had to prepare and get off the bus first and grab the dude's envelope and sprint to their room and have your buddies distract them. So no, I watched it happen. It was funny, but luckily not to my room.
Who was the poop guy?
Yeah, you and Najee Davenport.
A lot of guys.
Josh Sitton.
I was lucky to be a part of the watching some things happen at some places.
Yeah.
Well, didn't you guys have the trash can?
We'll be back in 4 minutes. I guess that place is still.
Oh.
I guess there are still some remnants.
Some black mold.
Not me.
Yeah. No.
I seen it there.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys need to not do that. But he didn't listen to me, man.
No. Try.
Hilarious. That was the greatest. Those garbage cans full of water, knock on the door, open. I mean, help!
Pretty rude.
Yeah,
Not nice.
I agree. It wasn't me, obviously. I just so happened to be going to the bathroom at the same time or whatever was happening over in the coach's dorm.
What are you guys doing?
They used to do a soft knock or a hard knock?
No, it was a full because it's 1 a.m., 2 a.m. You got to wake them up.
Yeah.
And then obviously the people that were getting chosen, they could have been being forced to get out of their bed at that time to work at some point.
Ah.
Help! Oh my.
Call the fire department.
I would never forget that sound. I just went in the bathroom and then went back to my bed.
Yeah, good move.
Yeah, smart of me. We'll be back and forth. It was not me. I will not take credit for that.
Oh, you're getting ready for camp.
Somebody did take credit for it, and they happened the next day.
Ooh. Oh, yikes.
Good run.
Oh, they got it bad. They got it bad. I was like, oh, no. We're back and forth there, brother. It's the Pat McAfee Show. You know what my life consisted of yesterday after that game ended?
What's that?
Bunch of fucking clown emojis with mustaches burying me.
Oh, no.
I mean, burying. There's a bunch of them. I mean, it was nonstop, same emoji. Sorry, last one. Maybe, says Penny's thoughts. Just abs fire, Balky. There's another one. I'm here for this douche's meltdowns. A clown. Teal Tomahawk. And then Dahn back and putting respect on Jag's name when you talk about because they're Colts kryptonite since the top 3 quarterback retired. AKA man, y'all motherfuckers got the first pick in the draft again. Ain't nobody putting respect on you. You're not putting respect on your teams. Have you got a clown as your fucking emoji? But this is what I actually kiss our teal asses. Good morning, Pat McAfee Show. Just a reminder, the Colts will not be in the playoffs. Matt Hole!
Come on, Matt.
This team has not been in the playoffs.
Oh, come on.
And he is just and right in sending this to me. This clown is right. Because what happened yesterday, after that game yesterday, and then it's not just.
My God.
By the way, it's not just clowns on the internet around Clown Town, Duval County.
Holy
okay,
shit.
this whole thing has kind of crept into our group text messages.
Absolutely.
So our group text messages this morning, as we're getting ready for the show, lots happening. You know, a lot of coaches were fired.
Yeah.
Flores, he won 8 of the last 9 games. See you later. Nagy, Zimmer, Fangio. I'm talking, there's a lot of big-time news happening around the NFL that maybe we could talk about instead of the Colts thing, but no. Even in the group text, they just sent this over like 20 minutes ago. A perfect QBR, 100.
Okay.
Average QBR, 50.
Makes sense.
So it's not like grades. Average would be 70s,
Right.
70s or whatever. In the NFL quarterback QBR, 50 is the average. In a play-in game, okay, which I didn't know it was. I assumed they did.
Yeah, I would guess they did.
Maybe.
And last week, by the way, against the Raiders was as well, I guess.
Right.
I mean, and how's your family? What a fucking win. We will talk about that.
Yeah.
Because Staley's ended up on the side of a stat that isn't that great, but it'll be ignored because the greater stats say something different. Whatever. Stat that. That was actual. They're not like your bullshit.
Well, I still think mine are.
In a playing game against the worst team in football, number 1 pick again.
Yep.
Carson Wentz posted a QBR of 4.4. What are we doing?
Yikes.
Is that a real number?
I don't know where the 4.4 came from, to be honest, after watching.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there was a completion or two out there, but what the fuck happened? Joseph Montana, Italian-American out of Western Pennsylvania.
It was a kidnapping attempt of his infant grandchild.
Yeah, in the house. They came into the house, right?
Yeah.
And then he was sitting on top of the stairs. He's like, put the baby down. And they said, no. And he said, And they said, no, I'm taking your granddaughter. He said, And they said, I'm taking it. He goes, you asked for it. Skechers up, Skechers down. Yeah.
Dart.
There's no way.
Then he ran down the stairs, and the baby caught the granddaughter after the beak of the lady that was trying to snatch the baby. Passed out. It was like one of those, boom, and they like dropped it. And Joe Montana, he actually slid down the stairs.
Head first.
You know, like that, how people surf almost down the stairs? He did that and caught his granddaughter like this, and then he picked up the ball, and he actually put foot on kidnapping suspect, called the police with his Bluetooth and waited there.
Unbelievable.
That's fucking Joe Montana, dude.
That's right.
Hey, welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here. Darius Butler had to go do Dad of the Year stuff. We'll get him whenever he can. Can't wait to chat with him. Funny, he's on Twitter telling people to boo me, and then all of a sudden he's running around.
Look at that. Boo this guy. How about that?
Hey, I know you don't do Twitter much, like actively, even though you creep on everybody on there. You probably saw. Me and Throw Rogan were catching it on the fucking shins Saturday night into Sunday morning.
I already know about you were, really? I mean, I saw the hashtag Throw Rogan. I didn't really look into it.
Well, then Covidiot was also trending. So Covidiot, Throw Rogan, and fuck that guy. I think we're all trending at the same time. People really, really got upset and excited about Aaron Rodgers this season and the chance to bury him as soon as they have the early exit in the divisional round. That's just another day in the life of Aaron Rodgers, huh, AJ?
Yeah, I mean, that's expected, don't you think? Like, with everything going on, I'm not surprised by it, not shocked, not saying it's right, but I'm just saying it's expected.
Well, did anybody listen to the 28-minute interview that he did with ESPN? Because in there he said he was being silenced, and then that got quoted, I'm being silenced, by some journalist on Twitter that Aaron said in a 28-minute interview, and then obviously I got added a lot. He's being silenced, but he talks to at Pat McAfee Show every week just to bury him even more. I assume that was taken out of context. I mean, I would never just guess something like that. But Aaron is normally pretty good at what he speaks of. But in that interview, it seemed like he was wide the fuck open.
Did you know that 75% of sports media has cured world hunger and also has a doctorate? in the medical field.
When was that reason? Would you do that poll?
I just did like
stat that? Are we statting that?
I did a quick scan through Twitter on Saturday night, and it wasn't a lot about how Aaron played in the game, but more so,
which, by the way, wasn't his best. Anywhere near his best.
But more so about their doctors.
I think Zito just spoke directly to the microphone, but I appreciate the announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a guy who's not a doctor, but he is a high football IQ individual.
Oh, yeah.
A man who played corner, nickel, and safety in the NFL in his 9-year career. He's the host of the Man to Man podcast and Everything DB, friend of the show every Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius Butler.
Yo, what's up, fellas?
Hey, D-Butt, thank you for being Dad of the Year.
I
appreciate that. I mean, we did miss you the last 16 minutes, but I seen your tweet saying, boo me. Why are you booing me, Darius? I don't think I should be booed. I think I should be clapped every once in a while. Why are you booing me on the internet, D-Butt?
I mean, it might be the first time. Could possibly be the last, but that was weak. That was weak. I mean, we got some great football, 60 minutes of great football, and then you get OT. And it comes down to a coin flip, and then 2 units got to go out there, defense and the offense. And if you get a stop as a defense, or even just holding to a field goal, you give your offense a chance to go down and win the game, man. And they didn't get it done, obviously. The rules are the rules. I like it. I mean, I hate college football personally.
Me too.
I love NFL football. There's nothing I want to take from college football, bring it to NFL football. Win a damn game in regulation, you don't have to worry about the OT rules.
Okay. Way to go. Obviously. I mean,
just hold him to a field goal. You're right there, D, but you have a chance. Just hold him to a field goal.
I mean, people acting like they flip the coin and then the offense just goes out in the field and they can just
10 out of the last 11 times that has happened. 10-1, the team that won the coin toss.
It's the offs, but only the playoffs. That's why 13 seconds. I mean, you got 13 seconds, bro. Like, special teams, dribble the ball down there, waste off a couple seconds. And as a defense, you can't play it that soft. Like Todd Bowles, everybody's talking about the blitz and leaving Cup wide open with a safety that's one-on-one. You're aggressive. Your players got to make plays. Cup makes a play. Stafford makes a play. I can live with that. The Bills, they just completely misplayed that situation. You leave Hill open to catch a 20-yard. He marches right down the field. Then you leave Kelsey untouched, wide open as cover 2. You got no hook curl dropper. The corner doesn't get a reroute. I mean, you give it to him, and then you're complaining about a coin toss. Nah, man, you got to get it done in regulation. And, I mean, when would that game have ended if you keep giving both of those quarterbacks the ball? Like, we're still
that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. I mean, Josh,
we're winner or loser, man.
Okay, I appreciate that, and I respect it, saying, hey, these are the rules. AJ said something similar, and I just think, for years now, just like whenever it happened to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs years ago, we thought to ourselves, man, would Patrick Mahomes answer there if he had to? And that was before we knew anything. Same thing with Josh Allen. I think that would have been huge. Would Josh Allen be able to answer? That is how we're going to judge this dude forever against Patrick Mahomes being able to answer or not. Obviously, number one defense in the NFL has to get a stop. I just think we were robbed of a moment, but I appreciate your take. Let's move on to a couple of these games, and I know AJ has a question as well. When you think about that Chiefs-Bills game, and they played 3 times in the last year, the final score is aggregate score 100-98. Why do these two create electricity, you think, when they're on a football field together? Do you think it's because the teams know that Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen are going to be judged against each other forever, or do you think these two teams just understand that they are the class of the AFC and this is going to be how it goes?
I mean, they're the class. I mean, those quarterbacks, man. It starts there, and then the play callers too. You got great play callers on both sides. Eric Bieniemy, Andy Reid, and then you got Dayball with Buffalo. These quarterbacks, there are no right answers with these guys. You cover everybody, they can scramble, especially Mahomes in the playoffs. When it's playoff time, when it's really nut-cutting time, that's when he really starts to use his legs, the sidearm throws and the throws. Like, he's going to do that. Josh Allen, same thing. He is the best dual-threat quarterback in the game right now. He can make all the throws, and then you damn sure don't want to see him in the open field. And then they got playmakers surrounding him as well. I know Diggs didn't put up a bunch of yards, but the defense was keying on him.
Fucked up a drunk White. He fucked up a drunk White.
He did get some. He was looking for some. He was looking for some action, man. He got some action. he took that fan out who deserved it. But you open it up for a guy like Davis, who in the contract year, he scored 4 touchdowns. So that's the game, man. But these quarterbacks, I mean, they're unbelievable. Play callers are unbelievable, and I hope we continue to see this for the next 10, 12 years.
See, but what about the Niners-Packers game? Like, what did the Niners defense show you that, like, what were they doing to hold the Packers to only 10 points, especially after driving down the field and scoring on the first drive?
So on the pod, man pod this morning, me and AB actually had Jimmy Ward on there, who's a big-time DB for the Niners. And he said, man, look, we play Aaron Rodgers. We know. And after the first drive you saw, he's looking for 17. And they did a great job. You got the script, first 15 plays, they're going to work. And then they settled down. They took away 17. Half the time they did it pre-snap. Other half they did it with disguise. And then that D-line. You can't go to 17 and then look at your second, third option with that D-line that's hunting. Man, you saw him do it the first week with Dallas, even when Bosa went out. And then Bosa was there this weekend. And they dominated the game. Green Bay's D-line played well also. But, you hold a team to 3 points for 3.5 quarters, especially a team like that. Just physical, just beat them up. And then, like I said, take away 17 in the pass game. And that recipe definitely worked. And then special teams, too. Huge play when they needed a touchdown. The offense wasn't moving and scoring it. You get that block by Jimmy Ward, the field goal block right before half. And then they came out. Jimmy G made enough plays at the end to put him in field goal range, man. Won an ugly game, defense and run game.
Jimmy G is 3-0 whenever he throws for 0 touchdowns. That Niners squad is just ready to go. Shanahan's such a good coach, I think. In the special teams, although their special teams hasn't been fantastic all year, knowing that they can chop and shoot on that field goal block with Jimmy Ward, that's like hours and hours of film. But that doesn't just happen. Like, oh, we're going to try this out. It's like, no, that's an entire scheme. The end seemed to be on top of the tackle. It didn't make much sense, and the wing gave no help. Jimmy Ward gets a big block. Did you talk to him about like the actual thought process behind that whole thing?
I told him, man, because that's something we see. You see it obviously more than me, but guys practice that. Chop down, jump through the gap, block. I told him 9 years in the league, I've never seen it actually work in a game. So the guy, it was perfectly executed. You get down there and make a play. The play before that, when Aaron Rodgers made a great throw to Jones up the sideline. Tart chased him down, got him on the ground, and they end up getting that block. It's complimentary football. That's what you got in the playoffs. But for them to execute that in that moment, and then obviously the punt block and touchdown that they had later on, special teams has been showing up, this whole playoff. But this whole weekend of football, man, probably the best weekend of playoff football, we've probably ever seen.
Absolutely. The NFL delivered 1 week after 4 out of 6 games were complete blowouts in Wild Card weekend. Maybe the greatest weekend of NFL football in history. The Buccaneers looked like they were going to get buzzsawed at home. Then Tom Brady finds a little bit of magic. Obviously, 2 fumbles from Cam Akers. Cooper Kupp loses the ball in the center, decides to snap it over Matthew Stafford's head in the middle of a wave of awesome for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All signs pointed to another big-time comeback for Tom Brady in the Buccaneers. This story is not over yet. Now, there's a little people alluding to the fact that Tom Brady might retire. I think Tom Brady, with how active he's been on Twitter and how transparent he's been, if there was no real truth to that, he would have shot that down in some sort of fashion. Maybe him running a sprint in the backyard. I'm nowhere near done, whatever the case. So there has to be some sort of conversation there. What did you see from the Rams, though, that made you think, okay, this Rams team is different? Obviously, they give up a bunch, and Matthew Stafford would have been judged so hard today if that Rams team loses after being up like 17 points, even though everybody else was trying to give it away. What did you learn about that Rams team, and at home against the Niners, how do you feel about it?
That was huge, man. And Cam Akers, like you said, he coughed it up twice, which you can't do ever, especially in the playoffs. But he brings a different element to that offense, man. That outside zone run game, which sets up the play action. Kupp is phenomenal. Stafford, I've been tough on Stafford all year, but in those moments when it's got to have it, those fourth quarter comeback type plays, he's always risen his gameplay in that level. So to see him do it on this stage, to kind of watch him, live rewrite kind of his own narrative. If he can go and get a win in this NFC Championship and maybe even win the Super Bowl, I think his whole career is looked at completely different. So I love to see that for a player. And then Cooper Kupp, man, he dominates games like all year long. When I had to pick between him or Jonathan Taylor for Offensive Player of the Year, I'm looking at his game log. It was like 2 games he was under 90 yards, and he's the guy coming in every game, obviously blocks in the run game. So for him to make that play in that moment, I gave him the MVP. He deserves it.
Okay, his teams are out there stumping for him to get it because they've gotten a chance to feel it both day in and day out. And obviously, Cooper Kupp is said to go into the building every morning with Matthew Stafford at 6 a.m. and go through hours and hours of film to be on the exact same page. Receptions leader, yardage leader, touchdown leader, and yak leader at wide receiver. I mean, that is a lot of titles to have for one guy. And when he described the defense after the game, he said it looked like they were running a 2-man and then maybe a 0. He was like kind of befuddled by it all that he even got open. Now it's coming out that there was a miscommunication. Not everybody heard the call. How can that happen, D-Bud, especially with them going out of bounds and a full play clock kind of being there on the defensive side, the most important play?
You know, that was the first game since week 1. You know, you had all the starters for the Bucs. And, you know, Murphy Bunting been kind of in and out the lineup. And it's no excuse on that stage. You know, you got to come ready to play. You got to get the call around. But that's something that happens in 2 minutes. And even if that play is called with Murphy Bunting, in that situation, I know, that was a position I played as a slot defender. And SMB, that's what he is for those guys. Like, I want to be on Kupp in that situation. Even if we have a blitz call, I'm looking back at Winfield or AB and say, hey, you take the blitz, I'll cover this guy. This is the dude I've been watching on film all week. But it happens. Yeah, it happened in the Bills-Chiefs game. That last touchdown that Davis had. The Chiefs weren't lined up. You know, they were trying to get situated, and then you give the middle read right up the seam.
Yeah, Sorensen was directing traffic.
He was trying to get outside in the corner. So it's, as a defense, young defensive players, play callers get the call in as soon as possible. I don't care if it's a bad call, just get it in so guys can communicate and see the offense come out of the huddle. Because the sooner you see them come out of the huddle and you see where guys are, now you can start to anticipate different things and get on the same page, you know, as a coverage unit.
Go ahead, Connor.
Darius, when you look at the Cincinnati Bengals, do you see that team for how young they are going on a serious, 10-year run where they're always in it? Or was last night kind of the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes prequel of what the AFC Championship game will probably look like going forward?
Nah, man, you can't ever count out. I mean, it was kind of like Big Ben when you had Peyton and Brady. You know, you can't count out a guy like Burrow. He's already shown that he's built different. You get beat up like that, you get sacked 9 times, you still throw it 340. You still make the play, to set up the game-winning field goal, and then even the rookie kicker, having the sweaty. Hey, yeah, we about to go to the AFC Championship. Like, that team is built different. The city deserves it. First road playoff win in history, and even Burrow coming out saying like, "Hey, man, this is what expected. This is kind of what we're going to be doing." Once they actually get an offensive line that can protect them, who knows what this team can be? I'm excited to watch this AFC Championship. Obviously, you saw these two teams play a couple weeks ago. But I'm excited for the future of that team.
What was it, 9 sacks and they still get a win? Yeah. 9 sacks, they still get a win. If they could protect him and move forward. And by the way, there's probably a lot of people in Cincy who say, well, it's Joe's fault. He hangs on the ball too long. People that are on the offensive line, their families are probably saying the same thing. Yeah. Whatever the case, he's been getting killed since he's been there. And it doesn't seem to matter. Like Joey Burrow just doesn't seem to get rattled at all. Is it that they don't know what they don't know? Or is that just, hey, you just got the right group of people over there?
Yeah, he's good, man. And he's white. He's got it between the ears too. If you give him time, he's gonna make the right. Like you watch young quarterbacks, and it's tough for young quarterbacks to read coverages and then see, okay, that guy's going there. Okay, this is the guy I'm going to. Oh, he's not open. I'm going here, and then make an accurate throw. If you know exactly where you're going with the ball pre-snap, it's much better to anticipate the break and make a throw. But Joe Burrow, he actually goes through his reads and he finds matchups. Obviously, Chase is his favorite target. But if Chase is covered, he's going to find somebody else that can hit you. So as long as you can protect that guy, man, that team got a chance. And the other teams in the AFC, if you don't have, Burrow, Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Lamar Jackson, like, hey, Colts,
hey, it might be a long damn day in the AFC for the next 10 years or so. Zach Taylor told, I think Trent was calling on that call. Who was calling?
Trent Green.
I think Trent Green was calling to play, and he said Zach Taylor told him that Joey Burrow can envision the entire play before it. Like when he gets it, he has the ability.
No notes. You got to take notes either. I heard that.
That's awesome. Right straight off the top. Good brain on that kid. I love it. Go ahead, Ty.
But it seems like they pretty much flipped the
sorry,
switch.
I didn't mean kid. Man, he's a grown-ass man. He's got cool glasses. He's really smart.
Very cool glasses. But it seems like the Chiefs flipped the switch last night, and the Bengals are fun to watch and kind of upstarting a good story. But if the Chiefs play like that, can anyone beat them?
I mean, the Bengals.
Maybe with better overtime rules, you know. Maybe with
the Bengals can. Man. You already saw it happen. Obviously, it was in the regular season, and I don't think the Chiefs front. I mean, the Titans' defensive line, like they have some dogs up front. Simmons, Landry, Autry, like those guys get after it. I don't think the Chiefs will pose that same kind of threat. So, like I said, if Burrow's protected, like we don't know if Honey Badger's going to be in there. He left the game with a concussion. I'm not sure if he'll be back or not. I would bet that he would, but I mean, damn right, the Burrow this team can beat them. They're there, man. We've seen, I think, Dogs were 3-1 yesterday straight up. So yeah, it could definitely happen.
Well, and the Bills, better overtime rules. They've made 4-0. You never know. Go ahead, Tone.
D-But, Shanahan is 6-0 against McVay. For some reason, I think it just feels like a good time for the Rams. Like, it feels like destiny, like kind of like the Bucs last year. Am I an idiot for thinking that McVay will get – it's hard to beat a team 7 times in a row.
It is, and this is the third time they'll be matching up. But it's I don't know, man. It kind of feels like it's the Niners' time too. They've been piecing together some stuff. And Jimmy Ward, he'll be matching up with Cooper Kupp. I think it'll come down to that matchup. Honestly, they'll see a lot of each other, and obviously and when it's nut cutting time, that's where Stafford is going with the ball. McVay's going to dial up something for him to try to help him get open, and it's going to come down to players, and it's going to come down to D line too. If you can rush 4. And get pressure on Stafford, and then you can disguise and mix up looks on the back end. You can get him in, you can get him uncomfortable and pick him off. So that'll be a really good game. LA is pulling some whole shit out there, not letting people buy tickets.
Whoa!
Come on,
Whoa! That's crazy, says Debo. It's crazy.
Hey, Debo, what about the Tampa Bay Bucks? I don't know if you saw this. Levante David in his post-game presser said something about there's a lot of turmoil in the organization at this time, which is the first I'd heard of anything like that. What do you think is what's the future of San Francisco?
Wait,
I'm not saying my bad, Tampa Bay. Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, shit. I know.
These guys are looking at it like he didn't say it. Like I made it up.
If Tom, I didn't know he said that. That's crazy to hear, especially.
I read it. I hope it's right.
Yeah,
on the internet.
I heard it.
At this time of the year, man, who knows what's going on? Obviously, they had some things going on in there, the AV situation, the car with a couple other players. You had some things going on, BA getting fined for hitting my young UConn guy in the head. But if Tom comes back, man, new year, guys will be all right. And got a lot of guys on 1-year contracts, too. They brought some guys back with some deals. So
hey, Tom ain't coming back.
I think Tom, I mean, dude just threw for 5,300 yards, 40-something touchdowns. Will be runner-up most likely for MVP. I don't think he walks away like that, losing in divisional round.
Hey, the TB12 team is letting that out there without burying it. That's my big thing. Like that even.
That's what you do.
Tom isn't like that. Tom doesn't do that type of shit.
Darlington is in the camp too. He's the one last year that actually said, look out for Tampa Bay, or not last year, but 2 years ago. He's the one that said, look out for Tampa Bay to possibly beat Tom's next.
It just doesn't feel like Tom is about the drama bullshits. I might be completely wrong, and he did get a taunting call less than 7 days after he said, these refs really let me say whatever I want.
Dry snitching.
on himself, D-Bus. On himself.
Snitched on himself. I mean, Tom, I honestly think Tom is just, he's just laying back, figuring things. I mean, he's pissed off right now. He just lost in the divisional round where he could have had home field advantage throughout going to the Super Bowl. So I think he'll let it play out. But I think he'll be back. He'll be back 45 years old next year, which is absolutely insane. But I think Tom will be back on the football field next year.
And if he's not, we all say thank you.
Thank you, Tom. There's definitely going to be some turmoil in Tampa. Whew.
Tom's gone. That whole place. Welcome back to the suck years, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we can't thank you enough for joining us, Darius Butler. Thank you, D-Buck. All right, we got about a minute or so here before hour 2 runs dry. Then TJ Watt is on the other side of the break. I can't wait to chat with him, AJ, about his thoughts. Did he watch the games? Probably miserably, right? I mean, that's normally what happens for teams that get knocked out.
Yeah, it's usually pretty tough, but it's hard not to at least check in on them and see what's going on.
I mean, I assume ratings are going to come out and it's going to say 1 for every 2 people on the entire planet watched this last week.
800 million.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Hey, there's some websites that put out that number and say that's how many uniques they get a month.
It's crazy.
It's like, really? Huh?
What websites do that?
Numerous.
Yeah.
I'm not dialed in like you are to all these websites.
Yeah, but you
Well,
are.
I have to be strictly because of.
I know.
You know,
That's why I'm asking you.
purposes.
You're an expert.
I'm not an expert, but I don't know how some people type some things up and just put it out there and say, yeah, this is not that or corrected by anybody, but that number seems like the right number, right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, we
People
can
want
add
that,
another
Joe.
comma in there, can't we?
Screw it. Fuck it.
I mean, how will they find out? Nobody.
Couple more zeros. Who cares?
Maybe that's why the Bloomberg guy got all pissed off and wrote it so short when I said numbers are all bullshit.
Yeah, it's not fraud.
It's false advertising.
Boom.
We're back in. Nobody that we know, by the way. This is just
No.
things that happen on the internet on a regular basis. And what happened to Bitcoin? Is it dead? Wow. More of that and more. Yeah. Nailed it. Fucking home run right there. More
Seems
of that.
like a good time to buy.
More of that and more is what the last thing that was heard on radio. I guess, yeah, it would be a good time to buy, but can anybody explain to me why it goes down or why it goes up?
No, you better not be asking me, man. I've been trying for years to try to figure it out. I don't even try to care. Like, now I'm like, all right, cool. You can explain it to me, and then I won't know anymore, so I'll just move on. But
AJ,
it seems like it could be great. Could be amazing.
I think you and I are pretty similar. Very curious. Would like to know why people are making the decisions that they're making. And I think you probably know a lot of people. I only know a few people that they're all in on the Bitcoin. And I'm like, who controls it? Well, it's not regulated. It's not regulated. Okay, well then when it goes down, why does it go down? And when it goes up, why does it go up?
How do they know it goes down and goes up?
Yeah, who's deciding it goes down and goes up? Well, it's not regulated, so it's not like the government or anything like that. I'm like, sweet, I'm all about that. But like, somebody has to.
Yeah, how?
Right? Somebody has to at some point. I don't really know. I hope all the Bitcoiners that make $1 billion.
That's right.
Yeah, good
I
luck.
hope you all make $1 billion. I honestly hope so.
Come on. Looking good.
And for the metaverse, I hope you end up good. But the metaverse is ETH.
Yeah,
ETH.
He's going to start his
Ethereum.
own. Don't do that. If the metaverse starts their own crypto and then that takes over, then that's what people are worried about, right?
Well, that's what I think the entire purpose of the crypto is for like website purchases and everything like that. So it can't be tracked or regulated or scammed.
No. I'm saying people are saying the metaverse wants to have their own crypto, so they basically run the world.
So Zito just dropped in my ear, and I'm not saying what he just said to me, but I guess there is an entity potentially to blame about dropping the Bitcoin price, and it sounds pretty similar to what every other problem we have in society is, allegedly.
Is this a person or is this a thing?
John Stockton.
I will kill you.
Really?
I will put the Bitcoin in the earth.
Mr. Putin.
That's what allegedly Zito just,
They are stirring up some stuff.
Zito just dropped in my ear and said, Putin. All right.
There's a lot of stuff going on right now.
He gets blamed for everything, right? He does everything.
About him, and then seeing his country's doing some things.
United States? What are you talking about?
What are we doing?
Come on, friend of the show, Diggs.
Oh, let's go to a break, dude. We'll be
How
back.
about being a friend of the country, AJ?
What are you even talking about? What?
I watched that show.
was a
I watched the show where he's
Marine.
wearing that costume. I watch it.
Hey, did you watch the intro? Remember, we said the intro is
Best.
Oh yeah.
What happened? No, I don't think I watched the intro. I just went right to the first thing.
No, you got to watch the intro.
You've seen it.
You have
You
to.
saw it. The dancing piece.
Yeah.
No, I have not. I would have probably commented on that.
You gotta.
It's so good.
I haven't really seen it, but yeah, I'll
figured.
watch it.
We weren't even like they told us. Please do not spoil or tease the intro. We would like that to be a.
Oh, okay. I did know about this. Okay, cool.
Okay.
What?
Definitely watch
You're
it.
lying.
HBO Max, right? I see it on there.
All right, we're back in 3.5 minutes with a man who tells the truth all the time.
Yeah.
This guy gets caught up in his own web of bullshit. I mean, you did see it, you didn't see it, you don't know if you saw it.
I heard about that. No, I know what you're talking about.
This is what happens when you get 31 tackles in 2 games.
I told you
no
I've watched the
concussions.
series. Obviously, I didn't watch the series, but I will, especially now that I hear about this.
We're back in 3 minutes. This show's the best.
Thank you. You guys influenced me.
We gave unsolicited information about numerous countries.
These are all reported.
Yeah, you did.
By who? By who? That's-
Reputable news sources. I'm not just throwing it out.
Unless
like some
Dr.
people.
Joe Rogan's talking about it.
Boom.
All right, we're back in 3 minutes. We'll see you then for hour 3. Should be good with TJ Wide. And calls on the 5 Energy phone line. We got Chris from Centerville, Ohio on the line. Can't wait to chat with him. I'm sure he's going to say some sweet stuff. See you in 2.5. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
I want to tell you a story. A story about a young man who once had a gambling problem, perhaps, before all these FanDuel sports books. The greatest app, the greatest place to gamble existed. There were bookies. There were illegal gambling rings, and one time, yes, I was part of one, and I could not pay my bill per se. I broke my legs. But now, because of FanDuel Sportsbook, they saved my life. That's why I will always gamble with the #1 sportsbook in America, FanDuel Sportsbook.
I went to one of his shows. He forced me into doing. He's wearing football pants.
I think Marco had actual knee pads. Does he have a fake face on?
Yeah, he has a fake face on. That is not Chris Angel. That or he's been eating McDonald's with Mark Davis for the last 5 years.
I just want everybody to know.
Straight to his face.
I just want everybody to know this is NFL related. Okay, we have to talk about
cover
this.
it. We have to cover it. Why is his penis a different color?
He's wearing football pants.
Tony, that's a.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck are
McAfee
you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here, hour 3 on this glorious Overreaction Monday, January 24th, 2022. Shall begin right now. Yeah. Shout to you all for watching wherever the hell you may be. To my left, your right, Centerville, Elk, Ohio legend AJ Hawk. The Toxic Table is here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. In one half of the Hammer, Dahn Cowboys at Tone Diggs is here. This weekend, how'd the books do? Books make money, public make money or not? I went 0 for 4, 0 for 2 on Super Boost. That's called a rough divisional round, but nobody could have expected the most electrifying football in the history of playoff football in the NFL.
I know the books did very, very, very well on Saturday night. I know the Rams were a trendy dog. Like the rest of the games were kind of 50-50.
What happened to the Packers?
Well, actually, they did well at the Bengals, too. So they did well Saturday, and then, the books had a good weekend.
What happened to the Packers?
Yeah, like we could. Don't you think we could see Pat? Like if the Packers lost in a shootout, it would be a little easier to handle, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but they were just absolutely nullified on the offensive side of the ball because the Niners defense did their thing, special teams did their thing, and obviously the Niners now travel into Los Angeles with no fans because the SoFi Stadium and LA Rams people, although Darius Butler said it was some ho shit, I think it's some awesome shit. They're banning any ticket sales outside of the Los Angeles County for the NFC Championship game. The Rams host the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl potentially back-to-back. And on the AFC side, the Cincinnati Bengals will travel to the beautiful Kansas City Kingdom and take on the Chiefs. We have a great 4 teams remaining. I wish there was one team that was still playing because then we get a chance to see this next man still play the football. And when this guy plays the football, he shows incredible flexibility with his celebrations. Woo! His intensity is incredible. The fact that he's an avatar and he sits in lakes and works out in the middle of nowhere is awesome. And he kicked his agents the fuck out of town so he could get a deal done with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ladies and gentlemen, Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive MVP candidate, TJ Watt.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
What? Do you hear us do that? And how bad do you hate it every time we go, TJ Watt?
I love it.
I love it. Get the whole studio involved. Love the energy.
Well, we appreciate you a lot. Obviously, the season didn't end how you wanted it to. You guys are not in the playoffs. You had a hell of a year, though. Describe the season that was, because there was a couple of times it felt like you guys were all the way out, fought, clawed your way into conversation, get in the wild card, and then eventually lose. How would you describe this past season, you think, TJ?
A roller coaster of emotions. I think it was a lot of ups, a lot of downs. I mean, as defensively, as all I can really talk about is just never really being able to get into a groove. I mean, the year before we were 11-0, so we knew what it felt like to get on a run and win some games, and then obviously fell apart towards the end. And this year started out good in Buffalo, and then just could never really get our footing throughout the whole season. And to be able to win 3 of the last 4 and get into the playoffs was obviously a great feeling. But the way that it ended was not good at all.
Hey, TJ, when you like the tackles that you face on a regular basis, maybe tackles in your division or just guys you know you're going to play, do you have do you keep books on them? Do you take notes and realize like, okay, this is this guy's strengths? Like, how much do you study the tackles that you will go against?
Yeah, I study a good amount. I mean, everything from just little things like snap count, when the quarterback's getting, when he's hiking the ball and the play clock, stuff like that. And then you go to the tackles, and a lot of the times I'll always text my brother and say, "Hey, I got this guy this week. Do you have anything on him? How do you think he played you the last time?" And just little things like that can help me when I go into a game. But I do a lot of individual study as well throughout the week. But tackles are smart, man. They play guys differently too. They know that we're watching the film, so it's tough.
Now, outside of the Titans getting 9 sacks on Joey Burrow and the Bengals still winning somehow, and Vrabel saying like, yeah, maybe we had too many sacks. I like turnovers. Maybe we get more turnovers and things like that. But if you look at like the Rams with Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and the boys, what they're able to do completely changes the game. And then the Niners and Bosa, what they were able to do to the Green Bay Packers. And they always talk about if your front can get pressure and then everybody else can kind of sit back in a shell, you're obviously way ahead of the game. Whenever you're talking about trying to take out a TJ Watt or a Bosa or a Von Miller, what do you think like people try to do? Has there been any innovations, or is it always just chip and let's hope we can help? What does that exactly mean? And when in games do you know that they're targeting you specifically?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the chip. I mean, you have to figure out if it's going to be the tight end chip or the running back chip. I mean, there's been times this year where I think it was Denver specifically where I lined up on the left side of the ball, which where I primarily do. The tight end came out off the ball and followed me over there. So I got up and went to the right side, and he got up and came over to me, and that still chipped me. So, I mean, it's tough to get past 2 guys, no matter which way they do it, if they're sliding or whatnot. But definitely late in the games. I mean, you see yesterday when they have a gotta-have-it situation. It's tough with those tight ends that are so active in the passing game. I think we have it with Mark Andrews in Baltimore, and then obviously see with Kelsey yesterday. They don't really like to keep the tight ends in the chip when they're their primary receivers. So as a pass rusher, you have to know that usually it's going to be that running back chip in those types of situations.
What do you think about the Bengals and their chances now in the AFC Championship, obviously? And I know they're a much different team now than when you got into the league. Like, what's it like playing them now with Joe Burrow and all their weapons, and what kind of chance do you give them going forward?
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals are a solid team. I mean, they beat us twice this year, and they've continued to improve since he's been there. And just having a quarterback like that can get the ball out quickly. They like to spread the ball out and make decisions pretty easy for him, and see if you're in man or zone and pick you apart that way. And then obviously he has the running component too, which, I mean, again, you saw yesterday where if you're in man coverage and you try to eliminate those routes, those dangerous receivers, all he has to do is kind of tuck the ball and run if you're not very determined in your rush lanes.
For the guys that are left that are pass rushers, Trey Hendrickson's obviously in there making plays. And for the other teams, do you all keep in contact with each other? Do you watch film of the others? Do you expect that they watch film of you as well? Is that a whole community? You guys all in a group text like we're fucking dogs and unblockable? Is that something you guys have?
There's no group text or anything like that. I mean, it's definitely mutual admiration for all the work that guys are putting in. I'm always watching the beat tapes. Every week you watch the tackle and how he got beat the week before to see if that's something that's a move that you could use going into this game. And there's so many pass rushers that are just doing things at such a high level. I'm always trying to steal moves from guys. So any moves that you guys see, I want to.
Yeah, we'll clip them and send them to you. Before Tone Diggs has a question for you and the boys as well. Hell of a season, obviously.
Yeah.
And you got paid, okay, which is cool. And there's some Yinzer folklore that would make you a Yinzer superhero if true. And I think we asked you before, but I don't know if you remember more of the details. Did you tell your agents to get their stupid fucking suits out of the way? I'm going to go sign to be a Steeler, and I would like everybody to know I'm going to fucking work out immediately afterwards. And what does it mean to be a Steeler, and why is that something you think? Why does it mean something to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, you think?
Yeah, it was something. It was one of those things where, I mean, in the process, it was so much back and forth, and towards the end, we got to a number we were very happy with, and they said, "Hey, we can go back one more time, and we think we can get X, Y, and Z." And Brady said, "Man, I'm sick and tired of going back and forth. Like, let me just go up there and just shake the guy's hand for saying thank you for listening to us and offering what we wanted, and let's get this thing done." And I mean, it was like a Thursday, so I normally work out on a Thursday.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like it was it was like a Rocky Balboa, like, oh, I gotta go work out right now. But it was just a normal day from there, and went home that night and had dinner with my agent and just thanked him, and just a surreal moment. But yeah, playing in Pittsburgh I told Mr. Rooney that this community and the people here, the blue collarness, and it just matches me and it matches my family and my beliefs. And I love the people here. I love playing for Mr. Rooney, Coach Tomlin, and it's just a great fit. And if you're from here like you are, you know.
Yeah, the whole place runs through the success of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The morale of the entire town goes through Sundays. And I'll tell you what, when we went and saw and you got introduced last as a young buck, it was like, oh, of course, TJ is this place's fucking hero. I mean, that's the way it is. And you've shown up and continue to work. And I think they know that. And they see that. And they appreciate that. Go ahead, Diggs.
First off, thank you, TJ.
Thank you, TJ.
Thank you,
TJ.
22 and a half. Tied the record. And I think about the one where Cam got a personal foul against the Ravens and the one where the botched snap against the Ravens, where that could have been another one. How much have you thought about the ones that didn't happen, that almost happened, that could have got the record by yourself?
Well, a little bit, but not as much. I mean, because 22 and a half, I mean, I'm very happy with it. I would have definitely traded in a lot of those to be still playing right now. Yeah. The number one thing that bothers me about it is everybody acts like it's a personal accolade. It's just myself. And there's so many sacks in there where, I mean, I think a couple times where the quarterback just kind of takes a coverage sack and I'm just the first guy to tap him down. So it's not just myself getting those numbers for sure.
What do you do? Pre-workout, little smelling salts? What do you do before games? You flip the switch and become a different animal, just like your brother, by the way. Your brother is like, very nice to be here. Hey, how you doing? Don't you know? And then they get him mic'd up, and he's like, maybe we're just fucking better than these goddamn bitches. You know, like, is there something that's just like, is there something in the, just you flip a switch? How do you get it go to, full what mode on the field?
Yeah, I think my dad always growing up, I remember if I didn't play well or something, he'd be like, man, that it factor just wasn't there today. Like, you got to find that switch, man. So now, I mean, it's kind of built in, you work so hard, put so much into this all season, all week leading into a game that when the lights come on, it's just kind of the work is done. And I'm going to go out here and have as much fun as I possibly can because it's the best job in the world. So, I'm sure pre-workout, a little bit of peppermint essential oil under the nose to get the airway opened up and go out there and have a fun time.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Go ahead, Ty.
TJ, how do you, I mean, obviously 22 and a half sacks, that's incredible, and you're always going to go to work every single day. Your work ethic obviously is well documented. How do you actually get better after having a year like that? Like, what will you do this offseason to actually be better next year?
Work on staying healthy. That was the big thing for me, was not being able to play in every game this year, which was very frustrating. But there's always things from a leadership standpoint that I'm trying to continue to grow at. Obviously, if Seven's not in the building, there's going to be a void there. So we need to step up, and me and Cam Hayward definitely are willing to step into that role.
Yeah.
What's it like having Cam Hayward in there? Sorry, Pat. When you have Cam Hayward inside, he's such a monster, such a strong dude. Like, you guys work together so well. Like, how valuable is that to have a dude like him in there?
Yeah, Cam's Mr. Reliable, man. He's been doing it at a high level. I don't think he gets the respect that he deserves. I mean, I think he's got 3 first-team All-Pros in the last 4 years or something crazy like that. I don't even remember the last game he's missed. Just just a guy that is so reliable. And OHIO, I didn't know if you're doing the big head. We call him head because he's got such a massive head.
I was doing the head. Yeah, that was for the head. But it did OHIO. Is that Cam Hayward, by the way, when he was a kid, just doing the OHIO?
Yeah, Coach Tomlin always puts up like old high school pictures throughout the weeks through like training camp and stuff. And Cam Hayward in 7th grade looks like Cam Hayward right now. It's pretty cool.
He had 31 tackles probably in a game like that fucking big-ass head that's on your left. The screen's right. Let's talk about Coach Tomlin. In the middle of the season, Coach Tomlin had to answer questions about not taking the USC job, and he was disgusted by it. I will not take any more questions about something like that. I have the best coaching job in all of sports. What is it about Coach Tomlin, you think, that not only keeps him relatable with the players, but successful as well, even when it doesn't seem as if it should be the case? What is it about him behind closed doors that makes him the coach that he is?
He always says he doesn't care where good ideas come from, and that's something that he's taken to heart, and he always is open to listening to our opinions on things. Just in my exit meeting a couple days ago, he asked me on what I think not only himself could do better, but just us in the facility, whether it's the training staff, the weight room, or the cafeteria, stuff like that. And then, I think it's just his transparency that guys really gravitate towards. He's not going to sugarcoat anything. He's going to tell you exactly how it is. And when the guy walks in the room, he commands the whole room. He's a big-time motivator, and there's no BS about him.
Do you think you would stand – I know you got 22 and a half sacks. It's a lot. But you get to watch film on those people. My pass set, pretty well documented. What is the style of tackle that gives you the most problems, you think? Is it the incredibly stocky, athletic, strong tackle, or is it those with a little bit longer arms than maybe me?
I don't know why I would give you that type of information. But I don't think I'd have any problems with you, though.
What's that all about? What's that all about? We're going to ball out quick, bro. Don't you fucking worry about it. All right?
That's the problem. That's the most frustrating thing in those quarterbacks to get the ball out in 2 seconds now. It's ridiculous how quickly and decisively they can get the ball out.
So do you know that going in, and is that why sometimes you're squatting? It feels like waiting for the patented Watt SWAT? Is that because that has been added, I think, to the repertoire a lot more? Has that been something you had to work on, or is that just natural instinct feel?
I think it's just natural instincts feel, kind of knowing the situation. There's so many situations within the situation. We always talk about just to kind of know if the ball's coming out quick, if it's towards the sideline, stuff like that.
Situations are situational too, TJ. You know what I mean?
In situational ball, of course.
Yeah, of course, because there's situations within a situation, and situations are situational in situational ball, even more so. I mean, I've never heard it said better. You deserve the MVP just for that, if I had to guess. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, TJ, we saw you score a touchdown against the Chiefs. In your exit meeting with Coach Tomlin, did you tell him, hey, look, my older brother can catch the ball in the end zone, so can I? Can we get some sets, maybe 2 to 3 packages of me and Derek in the backfield, maybe leaking out to the flat, or are you just focused on defense?
I did not. Maybe during OTAs we can draw up something where I cut the DN and Derek gets out in the flat, or vice versa.
Little Watt tag team out there. How is it having your brother on the team? I mean, here's another season done, obviously. It's nice to have some. I mean, you guys dress exactly the fucking same for every travel thing. It's very, very interesting. I see it on the IG stories. But what is it like? Is it nice to know that? Does he ever say, like, hey, you remember when you did this? You should try that? Like, what are the conversations like with Derek on the day-to-day?
Oh, it's been cool, man. I mean, I always pick him up. I drive to the airport on away games, and every time he gets in the car, we both look at each other. Are you freaking kidding me, man? You are Lululemon pants. But today, he lives in my neighborhood, so today I was just driving home from the facility, and he looks like he's about to get on the back of a snowmobile just to stink and shovel his driveway. It's pretty ridiculous the amount of winter gear he has on just to shovel his. It's fun to have those little interactions with him, and it's very surreal to be able to share all the experiences here and have someone to talk to that I grew up with, just about life in the NFL. It's pretty cool.
You're saying he's soft. I just heard there. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. he took offense to it. I took a picture, sent it to the group chat, and said, don't help this guy's get on a snowmobile or shovel in his driveway.
Classic. You're obviously up for defensive MVP. 22 and a half sacks is a record holder, tied, obviously. You did it in the 17th game, so that will always be a conversation. But only a couple people in the history, you being one of them, have accomplished such a thing. The defensive MVP and those types of conversations, they're going to be held against you forever in the legacy conversation. And obviously, your brother has a few of them, and it's an individual award, and you just said it's a team award. But how much do you think about those types of things during the season? And right now, do you hate or love the fact that you're a part of it all?
I mean, after the fact, it's fun to be a part of it, but in the season, you don't really have time to think about it. I told people early in my career, I used to always set individual goals. I want to have 20 sacks, I want to have X amount of TFLs, batted passes, all that stuff. And lately, I just found it's better to just kind of have the game record mentality as a goal instead, because I was putting too much pressure on myself. You're sitting there at week 3 and you only have 1 sack, you have no sacks, and you're trying to reach and get out of gaps and do a whole bunch of crazy individualistic stuff, and it doesn't help your football team at all. So I've gotten away from all that. I want to be Defensive Player of the Year. I just want to be the best player I can be week in and week out.
And also never dress like a soft ass when you're shoveling your driveway.
Mm-hmm. Correct. I'm going to go out here in shorts and a T-shirt and shovel my driveway. So.
Hey, are we getting in the lake this offseason or not? Are we getting in the frozen lake this offseason?
I don't know. That happens at Jage's house, so if he lets us, maybe. We got to get a sauna ready because that was freaking cold, man.
Oh, you sound a little soft right there.
Oh. I guess I am contradicting.
Last question here from Tone. Go ahead.
TJ, you talked about potentially being sevens last season and you and Cam stepping up as the leaders. What was it like? Like, what was that last home game at Hines for 7? Like, what was the locker room like after that? Like, how cool was that as a situation?
Yeah, it was a playoff type atmosphere. It was one of the best atmospheres I've been a part of in the NFL. Just to be able to have all the fans stay afterwards and have him go around and give everyone high fives in the lower bowl was awesome. And I think he deserves that after everything he's done for the city of Pittsburgh, brought 2 Super Bowls, and in the locker room, he gave a nice little speech to us, just thanking us, and just very appreciative for all that he's done and all that we've been able to give him this season. And obviously, we weren't able to get the end job done, but I'm very appreciative for the 5 years I had with him.
So does Tomlin send you text and be like, hey, TJ, what quarterback would you want to have next year for a team you're a part of? Or are those – no.
No, I wish, but no.
Oh, you do wish?
Oh. Who would you say?
I'm not going there.
No, come on. Hey, that's a part of it. You get into that position, that becomes
I don't wish. I take my wish back.
Well, we wish you nothing but success in the future, and we appreciate the hell out of your time here. Thank you for making time on this Monday. Did you watch all the games this past weekend? What was your big takeaway? What a fucking weekend of football.
Yeah, I did. It was crazy, man. Got to have the field goal kickers were definitely the stars of the show, other than the quarterbacks just being able to get the ball down the field as quick as possible. But what did you think about the last you squibbed that last one or not?
No, so I hate the squib because I think it's too quick. You know, and with the athletes that you have in the NFL, like even big guys can handle a squib. But I do think you keep that one in bounds. And if you heard McDermott, he said it was an execution thing. I think they were trying to do that, and he might have hit it a little bit far. What are your thoughts? Do you get into the whole strategery game? Is that something you enjoy, yeah?
I mean, I'm not big into analytics or anything like that. I listen to it if guys are willing to tell me analytically stuff. But, I mean, I wouldn't have hated the sky kick and at least put it in bounds and make them make a decision. I think it's tough once you have 13 seconds on the clock. They were trying to not let any guys get over the top of them, but as you can see, the underneath coverage wasn't as great either. But
hey, 2 timeouts. What are you saying immediately going out there? Somebody on the field saying, hey, they have 2 timeouts. So even if we picket fence the out of bounds, which it looked like Buffalo was doing there, which I don't know, is that communicated on the field, coach, player? Are you reminding yourself at all times and reminding everybody of the situation, or is it just expected at this point?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you practice it all training camp too. When you go out there, 2 timeouts, 13 seconds. I mean, they don't have to throw the ball out of bounds or anywhere near the out of bounds. So that eliminates some routes that they could be running.
What do you think about the overtime rules? A bunch of bullshit, you ask me. But I've heard defensive players say, well, you got to get a stop. You just got to get a stop, and it's not a problem.
Yeah, you take the ball. It's disrespectful. Obviously, they're going to take the ball, but it's our job to stop you or keep you to a field goal, and then we trust our offense. So I don't have a problem with it.
You going to be out the Super Bowl? Probably winning awards. You're going to be out there?
I haven't decided yet.
Well, we'd be honored if you were to go out there and do your thing to stop by and say what's up.
All right, if I am, I will.
That sounds like a no. Ladies and gentlemen, potential defensive MVP, Pittsburgh Steeler icon already, TJ Watt. Thank you, TJ. Enjoy your day, bub.
Yeah.
He ain't coming.
Nah, no way.
He might be there, but.
Accept the award in person, potentially?
Yeah, come on.
Oh, on our show.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll stop by.
What if we made our own award for him to receive?
Maybe we should.
We should do our own award show. Ooh.
Okay.
What? All right, we got to get to a break. We're back in 4 minutes, wrapping up this beautiful Overreaction Monday, January 24th. Big thanks to TJ Watt.
Thank you, TJ.
I love he drives by Derek. The fuck? What are you doing, bro? Why do you have 10 layers? You look like Ralphie from Christmas Story. You put your arms down. This fucking guy. We're sitting in lakes. You're out here doing this.
Well, he did say it was damn cold in that lake.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of contradicting myself. I do not want to do that lake thing again. But
you need to do it in your house. You need to cut a hole in your lake.
Oh, yeah.
So there's already ice in certain parts.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah, the ice.
It's going to be cold this week. I bet you by the end of the week it's going to be.
It's not a thick
Jump
ice.
on in, man.
Lace up the skates, pal. Let's get out there. Carve it
No,
up.
my shin bones and muscles aren't ready for that there, pal. Hey. But I did see the Swans walking on the ice. They got some long fucking legs.
Oh, yeah.
Light on their feet, too.
I seen the eagle standing on the ice.
Oh, really?
And it was the front of this one ice patch that was kind of floating around. So this eagle looked as if it was leading this ice patch floating.
Was George Washington behind them?
Yeah, right there behind.
Reincarnated.
And this lake life is different, I will say. There's always some shit popping off out there.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
The nature watching.
This fat ass squirrel too is looking at me, eyeballing me. Just like I think it senses.
Came over from the other house. That's why.
That's what I'm saying.
He got fattened up over the other house.
I think it senses that there's a potential, somebody that'll leak food like a sieve inside the house.
Oh, we heard about these people actually from a couple raccoons down the road.
It was literally just this one squirrel just staring at me. Just and I'm like, "What's up, dude?" And I stood up and like moved a little bit, but then it got comfortable again. Like, you ain't gonna do shit actually. And it just started staring at me even more. I'm like, I think I like this squirrel, but it's gonna have like probably 4 things of peanut butter outside before the day ends from fucking Sam.
Yeah, you might want to set a precedent, grab a rock, slingshot, hit that guy right between the eyes, and just kind of,
call it.
Let him know.
Let his friend, make sure his friends see that.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
All right, we're back in 4 minutes. We'll answer some phone calls on the 5 Energy phone line. We also have hashtag PMS. I don't want to overreact, but tweets from all around Twitter. We can't wait to get to it. Thank you so much for joining us on this Overreaction Monday. We'll see you in 4. All right, listen. Okay. I fell asleep before that fourth quarter last night, all right? A lot of people are saying I got a little quiet. Well, so quiet I was fucking passed out. A lot happened. Packers lose. Yikes. A lot of people on the internet start attacking me. They start attacking the immunized guy who plays quarterback for the Packers. It was a long night. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Actually, it was pretty quick for me. I fell asleep. A long morning catching up with everything and everybody. I watched the final quarter. Block punt in there for a tud. And Robbie Gould, who's been as true as time, makes a kick. A lot of for the brand stuff, a lot of bad for the brand stuff. But Tuesday should be electrifying. All right, listen. Okay. I'm now officially 0 for 3 in selections of the divisional round weekend. I thought the Titans were going to win. Nope. Joey Burrow and Evan McPherson. I thought the Packers were going to win, but no, the Niners and Bob Gold. I thought the Bucks were going to win, but no, the Rams and Matt Gay. Kicking matters in the biggest games. So all you little fugazi punks out there that bash the brand and bury kickers, it matters when it matters. And when it matters is in the biggest fucking moments. Congrats to the kickers making their kicks. Congrats to these players making plays. That last game was insane. I can't wait to see what happens tonight. Probably 4 for 4 on kickers winning the goddamn games, though. You want to go to the championship? Make a kick.
Hell of a machine.
It's 310J, dude.
Oh, top of the line.
That's when they were singing about being sexy.
That's right.
Yes. The 310J, when somebody saw it, that's sexy, and he was like, the country music, you're right, it is. She thinks my tractor's sexy. Oh, look at that.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah,
Holy
dude.
shit.
Hey, that's got a good cockpit in there.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like the Pope Mobile with all the glass around the top there, but it ain't no Pope Mobile because this one's fucking breaking grind. Hell yeah.
Party in the front, business in the back, am I right?
Well, I do believe we got business
Business
all
on both
sides.
ends.
That's right.
Yeah, the plow down there in the front is, although a good time. It is a good time to get that thing going.
Fun.
Business is being handled, dude.
Everyone's getting plowed.
And then on the back, on the backside, whenever you start cracking earth,
Oh yeah.
oh my
You
god!
need the excavator back there, the big dog.
And you know the thing about the seat on this 310J, it turns.
Yeah.
So it's always in the front. You know, whatever you're working on, business can be on the front, both sides.
That's right.
Controls all around.
We worried about those front tires?
No, not at
that's
all.
how they roll.
No, they survive anything.
Those are standard Deere backhoe tires.
Look at the back
Someone like you
tires,
might be worried
Foxy.
about
Yeah, exactly. Foxy.
I'm just asking questions.
Foxy, it ain't about the front wheels. It's always about the back.
That's right.
All right, because these rear wheel powered vehicles that you would never
Yeah,
understand.
you don't know anything about that, Foxy.
You have no
I
idea.
would not know.
Wake up.
I got friends that know. I don't know.
Listen, when you're drifting gears, okay, on a rear wheel, especially for 600 some ponies, you got to watch for like any, plot holes or debris.
Of course.
Because you can and then hit a tree. Because the back end kicks out. And then you won't drive that car ever again. Because how are you not supposed to drift it? And I guess, how are you not supposed to hit another tree?
Yeah, right.
That's my life. Doesn't have to be yours, though. Thank you, Andrew, for calling from the 310J. That's a beautiful piece of machinery.
It is.
Gorgeous.
Take that thing another round. Oh, look at that thing prop itself up.
Lift kit.
That's why the wheels don't matter in the front, pal.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. To buy playoff tickets, especially with these upcoming games, head over to SeatGeek, because SeatGeek is the greatest ticket buying platform on planet Earth and the moon. There's a link in the bio right now where to auto apply at 15% off for all football tickets. Obviously, the NFC Championship is going to be tough to buy if you're outside of LA, but the secondary market, like SeatGeek, will probably have some. And in the AFC, it's going to be tough to get into the kingdom. I don't know how many tickets are selling, but if we can get in there, we will obviously do it through our friends at SeatGeek. Shout out to Ticket Stooge.
Thank you, Ticket Stooge. Might be easier to get into KC after a lot of fans got, packed with that champagne.
They are fucking insufferable, those two. I don't say that a lot because I am also an insufferable.
Who are you talking about?
You know.
Jackson and the wife. And listen,
Maggie.
high school, Maggie Mahomes.
Nah, that's just Tony's name for her.
What?
What? That's just Tony's name for her.
Mrs. Mahomes.
Yeah.
Mrs. Mahomes and Jackson Mahomes have no idea that they are on a $500 million train right now. And instead of abusing it, they should just maybe enjoy it,
Yeah.
And I think those two, now listen, Patrick loves them both dearly, okay, obviously, because they're still around, still able to do the things that they're doing. Because if they weren't, obviously it would be a direct line from Patrick saying, okay, you two need to fucking relax, okay? Married to you, have a kid, you can come to the games, that's awesome. But enough with the dancing, TikToking, and now pissing champagne all over an entire crowd of people in celebration. But he loves them, as he should. He's a big family guy, you do what you gotta do. But these two have no clue about the world they live. And just, I wonder if they knew they were going to get buried for the popping of champagne and spraying an entire crew while Jackson's gaslighting it the entire time. I don't know if they even knew, which leads me to my main point. They have no self-awareness. They need to figure it out because those two probably awesome people.
Yeah.
Patrick loves them. So there has to be some people that enjoy them, right? At some point.
Well, don't you think, Pat? But don't you think maybe they know? Yeah, of course. I want the other 31 teams to hate me because I know Chiefs fans are on my side. That's all they care about.
I don't know if Chiefs fans are on their side.
Are they?
I don't know. I was going to ask you guys: are Chiefs fans on their side?
So that's interesting because Peyton here in Indy is a, god,
An institution. Yeah.
If somebody was related to Peyton and just acted like a jackass all the time, I think Indy at the beginning would be like, it's fucking Peyton's.
Come on. Okay.
Hey, it's fucking, hey, enough. The city, Peyton has done enough. He's got this, he's got that. He brought us a championship, the parade. Peyton's done enough. But at some point, I assume they say, all right, this guy is not with Peyton. Okay, they might have the same name, but they are nowhere near the same exact person. I would think that would happen, even though in Hoosier hospitality is the thing. They'd probably still be. Kansas City's probably got to be at that point too. You know, like even the people in the crowd that were losing their mind after the most insane game of all time, and they feel a little drop. They're like, oh, what's that? Oh, that's Brittany. They're probably like, okay, cool. And then they go home and they're like, did that woman just spray champagne all over you instead of is that even a thought? Maybe it is, just because they're Mahomeses, they'll be loved forever, but every single time they trend, it is not good. It has to be hard to get on their phone if I'm them, and maybe that's why they double and tripled down. I don't know. Or maybe they don't even know. Like maybe she thought that was going to be awesome and cool, and maybe didn't even expect that people would be like, why? Why do you have to do that? And I guess we'll just have to keep up with it as Patrick Mahomes continues to be a fucking GOAT in the making, that guy.
Yeah. I would say, the back and forth between he and Josh Allen was awesome. Now, I know Tony was on that game. Trent Green was on, the Bengals game? Was that right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I liked him. I don't know about you guys. I thought Trent was good. I thought he was very informative, for sure.
I enjoyed Trent. I don't hear him ever, I don't think.
Well, he took Charles Davis's spot because Charles had COVID situation.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Charles.
I know. Yeah, T's and P's.
Yeah. Is he okay?
I think so.
How about the NFL saying, listen, if you ain't got any symptoms or tell us you got any symptoms, we ain't testing. All right? We got some big ball games.
Yeah.
They didn't say that. Obviously, their health officials are looking out for the best interest of the future. And the NFLPA's doctors had to agree all these things as well, by the way. So everybody that's just saying the NFL is choosing not to test anybody because it's the biggest game, true. Very valid point. But also on the flip side, there was processy to get to this point that have to save them from any future lawsuits or anything. And that's normally the NFLPA who has to go, well, this could potentially blah, blah, blah. You know, there was a lot of stats dropped in that release of we're not testing anybody anymore that, you know, are very fascinating. Very fascinating. And I'm like, does this set the precedent for the rest of the world? Or is there people living in two very different worlds right now? I saw 3 people driving alone in their car with their masks on. I haven't seen that in a long time. Like a year.
I see that all the time, honestly.
What?
Well, then you see 70,000 people getting champagne sprayed on them at a game, and you see other things on TV, and then you see some people that are like scared to go around anybody you're going to kill. It's 2 very different worlds they're living. And I would assume that those numbers are not the same on either side. And I guess I should know that as a host or whatever. But when the NFL released that, I was like, oh, shit, this is big for, you know, maybe the rest of the world and how things are going. But who knows, I guess.
You look at situations like Kyrie Irving, but when you're talking about 2 different worlds, LA is kind of one of those worlds, California, and now the NFL is the other world, and that is just coming together at once for that Super Bowl week. So hopefully we are officially in the state of the NFL, but it does seem as though California probably ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, whenever we get there, it's going to be tough, I assume, not to be like Governor Goodell.
Yes.
You know, like we are currently
Exactly. This is your world.
Say the NFL, but I guess the jurisdiction is a little bit higher than the NFL ones, I guess, like in a procedural process, not in actual life, because I think if the NFL wanted to get any laws passed, they could probably do it better than most politicians who are an army of one. We're not diving into all of that, but I'm just saying it's interesting because the NFL Super Bowl, its biggest game, is in Los Angeles, and they are making those rules. But then we're hearing what the rules are for Radio Row, which are much different than what the NFL's laying out. We're in an interesting time. Very interesting time. And it's great to be alive. It's great to be alive.
It
We're going to tell stories about this forever. No matter, hey, do what you got to do to continue to live and be healthy and all that. And the divisional round will keep kicking ass. And wait till you see us championship weekend.
Unbelievable.
Got Royal Rumble Saturday night.
Okay.
Royal Rumble Saturday night. AJ?
Where is that?
St. Louis, Missouri.
So you'll do SmackDown Friday and then go for a Royal Rumble on Saturday?
Yeah, accurate. Just now putting that together.
Perfect.
Is that one of the deals where you're going to be trading on and off with your, commentating?
Yeah, that's those pay-per-views, I think. I'd assume.
But Royal's a lot longer than the Royal Rumble match is a lot longer than what.
Well, the Royal Rumble is when 30 superstars are all fighting for the coveted prize of getting to main event WrestleMania, the most stupendous WrestleMania in the history. 2 nights you get the main event for a world championship, if you choose.
Sure.
If you choose. That's what everybody's fighting for now.
Hell yeah.
And then on Sunday, it's championship weekend. How you doing? Keep it moving.
Can't wait.
Who is going to represent the AFC? Who's going to represent the NFC? It's a beautiful time to be alive. The game started 3:07 on Sunday. Bengals take on the Kansas City Chiefs in the home of the Chiefs. And the Niners travel to LA, even though Niners fans can't buy tickets just yet. They're going to have to buy them on the secondary market. So kind of SoFi working a little bit of a ticket racket right now. Kind of now they think about it.
Interesting.
You know?
Yeah.
Be a lot of celebrities there, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, those suites are going to be packed to the gills with celebs.
Yeah, they're packed week 18. They went around.
Just quick production thing. I hope they, when they shoot people live, like as we get older, I hope it's just pre-recorded. How come they show some people terribly?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there is some, terrible live shots of people, and it's like, oh, they had no idea. But if you have the camera on the person, can't you wait until a good one and then just rip like a second and a half, 2 seconds, and then just throw to that before you go to the next one, instead of like trying to make somebody look terrible?
Yeah.
I don't know, because some people look bad.
A lot of time, I was gonna say I do think they do that, but then sometimes they choose not to. Is they always look bad?
Yeah, I don't know, because I'd wonder if that's why I guess you see some celebs sitting in the backs of suites, hats low.
Even Mark Davis's mother.
What's that?
Blowing her nose.
Yeah, and
a couple weeks ago.
Every time they shoot Goodell, I'm always like, oh, what if Goodell just turns to somebody and says like, fuck this shit? Yeah. Like that conversation. There has to be some sort of checks and balances, I'd assume, for some people then, right? You would think.
Yeah, but also like, aren't those people, if you're going to a game and you're in a suite, isn't somewhere in their head probably like, hey, I'm going to be shown at some point?
I guess. And at what level do you get to, you got to think like that. Like AJ, like we should have known maybe at that national championship game. Or with AJ Hawk, there's a chance we get shown.
Yeah,
in the
that's
suite.
right.
And they'll spot his head from miles away.
Is that paper mache?
Holy shit.
Hey, did they show? I heard Peyton was at the Packers game up in a suite. Did they show him?
No, was he? Who is that?
Just made me think of that. I know people that were sitting in a suite that said like the one connected to them. Peyton was there, and they told him like, hey, he's just trying to come watch the game. So I didn't see him show him. Like, I don't know if they said don't show him or if he was even there, really.
So I know that like season tickets aren't possible for 100 years or whatever for the Green Bay Packers,
it's like
right?
impossible pretty much.
You can get tickets to anything in the world, though. If you're willing to pay, you can get tickets to anything on the planet.
Yeah, I agree. Secondary markets are always in there. But are those suites all just bought out by people for years and years and years, and then they just kind
of... Companies and people, yeah.
Why would you ever let it go? Why would you ever, if you got one, why would you ever let it go?
Because it probably costs like $400,000 a year.
Yeah, but it's only getting
holy shit
more profitable, right? Because the price
it's a lot of money. People will pay though every single week if you make that available, right? You would assume, you would hope that's the case, I guess.
Playoff games too.
There's the sheriff down there on Lambeau.
Wow. There we go. Is that A-Rod with him or no?
Is that Coop?
Alex Rodriguez was
A-Rod
there.
Was
he was
there.
in the crowd.
got the real experience.
Hey, A-Rod was just having his fun out there.
That's Brandon Stokely, it looks like.
Yes, it is.
With him. Yeah.
Oh, Stokely. He does radio out in Denver right now.
The one right next to Peyton.
Yeah.
R2.
You think they were recruiting for Denver?
Was it tampering there on your own fucking grinds?
Wow. It better not,
oh my God.
Hallowed grinds.
Boots on the ground. I don't know if the Colts are thinking about it, but I would have went up there boots on the ground wearing a big old Colts hat. You know? Hey, come ride the pony in Indianapolis, Aaron. You know? Hey, that market's going to be big.
Yeah, you think?
If he's playing.
Hey, some people say no, by the way. I just want to let you know that. Yeah, some people
Well, I mean, people that have an opinion on Aaron outside of football, I'm sure will say there's not a market.
Who would want Throw Rogan?
Nobody wants Throw Rogan.
Get Throw Rogan out of here. Why would you bring that into your culture or whatever?
That would surprise me if we didn't just go through Brady and hear how not every single team was in on him, you know?
Yeah, that is something that does... Because I just assumed, hey, you get Tom Brady in the building, everybody's better. The equipment manager is better. The trainers are better. The chefs are better.
That's right.
The cleanup of the place, better. You know why? Because we got a guy that can lead us to the Super Bowl. So if we don't go to the Super Bowl, it's probably one of our. And why not? Why not just do better? Why not make the entire team better? Why not make the building better, the facility better? Because we got a guy who's been there more than anybody else. Everybody raises their game. I assume that a lot of teams who are filled with years and years and years of shithousery and terribleness would have been like, get this fucking guy in the building. I guess that wasn't the case.
Nope.
Allegedly.
I mean, he wanted to come to Indianapolis, and Indianapolis was like, "Are you kidding me? Philip Rivers is available. All right, Tom, why don't you shut up?" And then he went down to Tampa. It's crazy how it works.
Let's go to the phones. That did happen. That was a tough day walking in here. Reports are saying, now we don't know if it's true yet still. And we asked Ballard about it, I think, on the Superb Al show, and he said he will confirm nor deny the report. Or whatever.
And we were just talking about Brady probably would have came out and said, I never wanted to go to Indy if that was not true, because he has already come out and discredited his own father for stuff he said. So if he saw this, he probably would have said, nah.
Could you imagine if Tom Brady was an Indianapolis Colt, which means Rob Gronkowski would be in Indianapolis Colt?
Antonio Brown.
With that defense.
On the bright side, though, Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
He's not a bad guy to settle.
Still
for.
got him there.
Good point.
Phil Rivers took you to a wild card game last year. Pretty good.
Okay. Not bad.
Huh?
All right, everybody needs to fucking relax.
This is bullying at its finest.
Everybody needs to relax, dude. All right, I was getting dunked on a lot on the internet this weekend for another team that I'm a fan of. Okay, I don't need the Packers. Yeah, remember, I'm just a shill for the Packers, basically. So when they lose, I get killed for that.
Mm-hmm.
Colts lose in Clowntown, I get killed for that. Pittsburgh Steelers have something bad. I'm associated with Pittsburgh, I get killed for that. I just want to let everybody know, the Colts are fucking back next year.
Well,
okay? The Colts are, and guess who's going to be quarterback? Aaron fucking Rodgers.
Oh,
There's so many teams saying that right now, by the way. There's so many. Hey, Denver Broncos fans are right now. That defense, we lost Von Miller. We're still able to play with the offensive weapons we have. Next year, it's our fucking division, even though Patrick Mahomes is in there. You know who's going to be our quarterback? Aaron fucking Rodgers. Then you hear the people in Pittsburgh. We made the fucking playoffs with Ben Roethlisberger not being able to throw the ball 4 yards down the goddamn field. We're on two broken legs basically out there. We're not all two sprains, but this team was nothing like what it used to be. There's a little salary cap. The offensive line's a little mixed bag because, you know, a couple retirements. Next year, though, TJ Watt. And our quarterback, guess who it's going to be?
Who?
Aaron fucking Rodgers.
Wow.
Wisconsin connection with the Watts.
What?
And him and Tom were flirting on the field already, and he drops Pittsburgh comment every single time he comes on.
Well, he's talking to Pittsburgh people.
He's talking through us to the Roonies.
Well, then what if you're the Cleveland Browns?
Boom.
What if you're the Cleveland Browns? And no offense to Baker, okay? We don't know what's going to happen with Baker. No offense to him. But the Cleveland Browns could be like, our team. Are you kidding me? Our team is absolutely stacked. Imagine if we had a quarterback named Aaron fucking Rodgers. And then you go to Carolina. Carolina's like, we're moving on from every fucking quarterback that we need. We don't care about who we're paying, how we're paying them. We just brought in McAdoo. We'll get rid of him if we want to. You know who's going to be our quarterback? Aaron fucking Rodgers. There's going to be a lot of people that do that. And the Packers are like, man, we cannot lose Aaron fucking Rodgers. There's going to be a lot of Aaron fucking Rodgers talk, and there's only one person that knows any of the information.
What about down in New Orleans? Because Sean Payton's on the fence, and they get Aaron and him and except for they are 70
negative.
Negative $70 million.
Negative $71 million, I believe, is what the Saints are next year for the cap. And people are saying Sean Payton's coming out saying, I don't know what my future looks like. I don't know what my future looks like. No shit. You're negative $71 million. You're going to have to make some changes. And this comes after last offseason when they cut like 10 dudes out of nowhere and had to completely rebuild. Now Sean Payton doesn't know what the future looks like. But you're right. Saints fans are thinking maybe we get Aaron Rodgers. Packers fans just have to be sitting back wondering what the hell is going to go on. Yeah, here we go. Packers have negative $38 million next year. Aaron Rodgers went on to say, I ain't about a rebuild, which is what, if you have to save and cut $38 million, there's probably some positions that are going to have to get turned over, and those are high-priced positions. You just got to hope you have the replacement already in the building. The Cowboys, negative $21 million, going into the highest cap in the history of the NFL at $205 million. This is the potential long-term effects of dealing with contracts down the road. Vikings, negative $12 million. Giants, negative $5 million. Somehow, they're awesome. You know what I mean? Dolphins have $67.5 million down in Miami. No state income tax. Can attract stars. I'm sure Devontae would love that place. What if the Dolphins get Aaron fucking Rodgers? Then the Chargers have $62 million in the future set. The Jags have a lot of money, even though they're going through a rebuild. The Bengals, who are still in this goddamn thing, have $60 million. Would have never expected that team to have money left. in the salary cap ever. Would have never expected that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Even though they did pay some people, I get it, but I would have never expected them to be top 4. But they can still make some incredibly huge plays. In the Jets, who will never really understand or know about, they have $47 million. So it's quite a drastic future in a lot of different places. In the Saints and these other, like who's going to coach next year, they're fucked almost.
Tell you what, those Broncos and those Colts are right at there at 6 and 7. They're not on there, but they both have $40 million in cap space.
Oh yeah, top 10 I think all has pretty good money there.
Seattle, the Steelers.
Where are the Niners at?
What are you pushing Aaron to the Niners?
I'm not pushing Aaron
just
to.
gave fist bump to
I'm not
each other.
pushing Aaron to the Niners. I mean, the
11.
Niners basically, sold the future of their franchise for Trey Lance. He's not even going to play this year. He's like goddamn Bitcoin right now, Pat.
Whoa.
Yeah, his stock is dropping every single day.
Jimmy G is winning for that team. That's all he does. Whenever he's healthy, they win.
Boom.
When he isn't, they lose. They had to look ahead to the future is what they said. Let's go to the phones.
Wow.
Let's go to Chris in Centerville, Ohio. Let's go Elks, Chris. Let's go Elks.
Elk Pride.
Hell yeah.
Elk Pride.
There you go. That's all right.
Hell yeah. EL.
Nope.
KS.
KS.
I don't want to overreact, but
All right.
but
Okay.
Joe Burrow's about to knock out history here. We're going to have a rematch in the Super Bowl with San Fran and the Bengals. Since 1989, he's coming back. No playoff wins. He knocked that out for 31 years. No road wins for the Bengals. He knocked that out this last weekend on the Great Divisional Round. And he will be coming back and knocking out Jackson and Maggie Mahomes out of the AFC Championship.
All right, Chris has confidence in the Bengals. Is that what it's like around Ohio right now? Is Cincy Ohio's team for sure?
I mean, people are juiced. Absolutely. I see Bengals jerseys at like my kids' basketball games. There's people are very excited. I don't think they expected to be here in the AFC Championship, and now that they're one game from the Super Bowl, it's people are hoping they win. It's going to be a tough one if they lose this AFC Championship.
Ohio is obviously a football state, and the Bengals have $60 million they can play with going into next year, and they're in the AFC Championship. I mean, the future looks bright. Congrats to all of Ohio getting drunk in the name of the Bengals changing their stripes.
Yeah.
First time winning in a long time. That's award stuff right there. Let's go to Brian in Texas on the 5-hour energy phone line. Brian, what's going on, pal?
Hey, Pat, boys, AJ, how you doing?
Keep it moving, please. Thank you.
Hey, so I just first off got to say I'm a big fan. I'm about to start grad school, so I won't be able to listen every day anymore. So I'm a little sad about that. But,
what are you going to grad school for? It's something good?
I'm actually starting law school here.
There you go. Have to go to school. Good luck out there. We're pulling for you. I'm sure we'll be around whenever you're done, dude. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be around, hopefully. What do you want to talk about?
So I got a question that I've wondered a lot, but you guys kind of touched on it earlier. So Tyreek Hill came in, and he's obviously the most explosive guy in the NFL. Why isn't he returning punts every time? I know he used to, made his big name there, but is that kind of like a thing that people just have to pay their dues in the league, so they kind of send like new young athletic studs who don't quite have a name back to return the punts, and they only send out Tyreek, one of the top 3 returners of all time, to when the games really matters, or what's going on there?
Brian, great question. Thanks for bringing it up. Just avoidance of more hits and collisions on your star guys. Tyreek Hill is more important to the offense than he necessarily is for every single punt, because you got guys that are at the bottom half of your roster blocking for this person, and if this guy is one of the most pivotal pieces of your success, why would you want him to take any more unnecessary hits unless he has to, which is in big-time games? Believe me, I wish they put terrible players in at return for every single punter, but although Tyreek Hill is next level because of his explosiveness and how quick he is and fearless and everything like that for all the great returners have, McCole Hardman is, I don't want to say just as good because nobody would be, but he definitely is better than the average. So Andy Reid has to do a risk-reward assessment type thing, and that's why he isn't back there. But boy, there ain't nothing like jogging onto the Kansas City field, freezing cold in the playoffs, and Tyreek Hill is back to return. What a fucking sad state of affair that is for the punter every single time you hear it.
And every guy on the coverage unit, too, when they see Tyreek Hill back there. What? Wouldn't you compare it to, though, a little bit, Pat, Josh Allen, and how many design QB runs he has in the playoffs? Because, it's win or go home, so we need to win. So we're willing to put him in a little more danger than we would during the regular season.
He ran a motherfucker over.
Yes.
It was on fourth
a couple
down,
times
I
I
think.
feel like.
There was one where he lowered his shoulder to go shoulder to shoulder with it. It was like he's not avoiding, and he already picked up the first down by that point.
Yeah.
It was like, no, I'm going to deliver a blow here, which is the same mindset that Andrew Luck had. Andrew Luck would do that same type of shit. And then he had to learn how to get out of bounds, I think, after numerous surgeries, he'd do that. But Josh Allen told us last week, if it's third or fourth down, I got to do what I got to do, is exactly what he said. And then we saw him on a fourth down fucking try to kill somebody after. It's like, okay, so doing what you're doing is also setting a goddamn tone. And I love it. I absolutely love it. But there's some grown men out there, AJ. There is grown men out there. Not that Josh Allen isn't big and incredibly impressive and a freak athlete, but goddamn, he is so good at football to watch and electrifying. I hope he doesn't take as many massive shots. I hope personally.
I think he'll find a fine balance, and we'll see as the games get. He's playing in bigger and bigger games. Then we'll see him take more chances with his legs, I think.
Could you imagine being Josh Allen, as big as he is, as fast as he is in that moment, playing against Patrick Mahomes? And we've seen him mic'd up. He is a guy that gets like excited, and him not running somebody over. Like, I could never see that. I could never see. Like, he's going to take that probably every single time in that moment, and you can't tell him to turn it off. Like Andrew Luck, I think he thought he was disrespecting football if he quit on plays, like if he didn't go all the way through. And it's like, well, how do you break that? Like, how do you break?
Yeah.
Hey, your entire vision of what football is supposed to be is a little bit different than what it should be. It's like a gift and a curse, and Josh Allen is a freak with the ball in his hand. Those powers, unstoppable, almost as much as like Trent Williams in motion on a 4th and 1.
Oh my God, jeez.
Well, how about they stopped him? The one time they ran it, they stopped him on a huge fourth down.
Could you imagine that big body? You're supposed to set the edge, right? No edge, no chance.
No. You can't go low anymore. That's the thing. You can't go low.
So you got to eat that, dude. We'll be back
like
tomorrow.
You don't see him.
We'll be back tomorrow with Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. We did. Well, we don't know. Have you talked to him?
Oh, yeah. Good question.
Have you talked to him? I assume he's coming on. I've not talked to him. Have you talked to him?
Aaron?
Yeah.
No, I haven't talked to him, honestly.
Have you reached out?
Yeah, I sent a text, of course. I wouldn't expect anything back.
What'd you say?
What do you think he's doing right now? Do you think he's just like a recluse? You think he's like kind of shut everything off?
I don't know. I really have no clue. I'm sure he's in the facility. You know, they have to do all their exit meetings and all that stuff. I'm sure he's like dealing with all that.
Riding in the back of a truck with some Bud Lights. Like last
What?
year. What?
Do you think this year is harder
Hopefully.
to swallow than last year?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because this is what I was worried about. Remember, Pat? Like everything seemed to be lined up beautifully. Like, here we go. This year's different. This feels different. Like every time I hear that, it starts to make me worry a little bit.
They're getting healthier. They're getting stars back. Here we go. The offense is a well-oiled machine. It's in Lambeau. I tweeted out Lambeau's a game changer because it was loud. They took a delay, I think.
Cold.
Something else happened. It was starting to snow, and it was all that. George Kittle liked that tweet, by the way.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Well,
that was fucking awesome. When I woke up and I saw that he had liked the tweet, I was like, touche. That's good Twitter. And that's good Twitter there, that whole thing. But you're right. It felt, and we acted as such, I guess. And, a lot of people did send that, to me, Oh, you and Throw Rogan, so comfortable and confident. Tell AJ, he at least played for him. There's no reason for you to be as confident as you were. We went in there and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, respect. You fucking did. The Niners actually did. And I don't think any of us could have thought that.
Well, we were misled a little bit, though, because Jair Alexander didn't play that much. Bakhtiari didn't play. Like, they actually weren't getting healthier. Zadarius Smith played well. He had a sack on, the first drive. But aside from that.
And LaFleur didn't think the stadium was loud enough, so.
No.
He loves
Lambeau does not like him.
He hates his guts.
No, he does not.
Lambeau, what? Lambeau went after him for trying to get the
Lambeau,
crowd?
not a LaFleur guy. Let's just say that.
The flour does not get the Paisan going. No. What's that all about?
I don't know. I mean, it was just and like we said, the longer they didn't score on offense and they kept going 3 and out,
we're rolling the dice.
Like, okay, here we go. You can't let it fuck. And Jimmy G's playing, you just can't leave it. A team like that, you can't let them live for that long. There were so many opportunities where if they would have taken it down and scored after a big stop on defense, I feel like the game would have been over, and they just let them live, and they ended up getting bitten in the ass.
I'm assuming in special teams will get you when it gets you. It doesn't matter until it matters. It won't show up until it shows up. Take care of the little things, big things will take care of themselves. All the little things were not being taken care of in the special teams all season. And there's like 2-3 clips that Gumpy went back and found in tweets where we literally say on this show, hey, special teams will lose you a fucking playoff game. Like that'll happen, and then boom, here we are in the divisional round, and it's block kick, big return, block punt, touchdown. How you doing? Keep it moving. You're out of the fucking playoffs.
Yeah, it's sickening. It's sickening.
Yeah. That's what makes it more frustrating, I assume, for you. But, like, it's not as if this came out of nowhere. Like, during the bye week, did they not, like, go back to the drawing board?
What did
like,
you say, Ty? On that one video, Ty says, it feels as if they don't practice special teams.
Yeah.
I think
it
AJ said
does.
maybe they shouldn't.
Maybe. What if they do? If they do, they should do something
Well, and
different.
Mo Drayton said, like, week 11 or something, like, hey, you know, we'll have it figured out by the time it matters. And, you know, they arguably put their worst game of the year on film when it mattered the most. So that's comforting. But, you know.
Coach Mo, I don't think is going to be the special teams coordinator.
I hope not.
10
Jesus
guys.
fucking Christ.
10 fucking guys.
Last play of the
that's
game.
bad.
That's bad. Can't have it.
All due respect, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but
Very nice guy.
yikes.
Hey, what about the block punt, Pat? On the block punt, the dude bowls the long snapper. Obviously, the rules are you can't line up directly head up, so you have to line off to the side. What could they do that every play? Like, could they have helped the center? Like, what do they do?
So here's an interesting little thing. So the personal protector, the PP, the person that is standing like 5 yards back from the line of scrimmage, about 10 yards in front of the punter, that person is giving a cadence depending upon what they're seeing, you know? So there's obviously when there's a 6-man box, there's a different blocking process than when there's an 8-man box and you're only manned up on everybody. In that particular one, I don't know what decision he made, but there's always a thought that you send the snapper towards the weaker rusher. Right? So if it's an obvious rush, send it towards the weaker rusher because naturally the snapper's head's going to be down and they're going to be falling backwards while whoever's getting a go off. So the PP, most of their cadence is directly to the snapper to tell the snapper you're either going left or you're going right after you snap, and then I'll pick up the other side. So the PP and the snapper basically they're taking care of two people, and a lot of the cadence is towards the snapper going right because then that affects the right guard, the right tackle, the right wing, right? So that's kind of how and why the cadences work. So I don't know who the other rusher was, but you would think that maybe you could send the snapper to somebody that isn't a defensive end, it appears like, that is very lanky and probably a great rusher, and have the PP who has a 5-yard cushion kind of pick that up. But I don't know what the rush was, and I didn't watch enough Niners film, but that is an easy way to protect your snapper who is already at a disadvantage just naturally by throwing the ball through their legs. And he didn't try to set or anchor once.
He's not a stout dude either. I don't know what his height and weight is, but he's not a stout. Like, there's some snappers are big, like thick dudes. He's not. So,
and
it's
some
a tough
guys,
block, really tough block to make.
Yeah, really. I agree. Tough block. Some guys are incredible snappers and great blockers, but are terrible down the field. Just like,
Which is what I would much rather have. I want my guy to be perfect snaps and a great blocker. It's completely secondary. I don't care if you can make a tackle.
I'll tell you what. I do not give a fuck if any person that is in front of me right now can go down the field. Let me, the Gunners, do our thing. That was literally our game plan. Like, hey, just let's get this thing off, and me and the Gunners will kind of do this. And if we don't, if somebody else has to make a tackle, that's on me. Like, that's on us. Like, this is the expectation. This is how this whole thing goes. So I'd much rather have the blocker and the great snapper. But, like, Overton was a better cover guy, too. Like, I'm not saying he wasn't good at the other stuff, but he kind of did all three at a great level. So but there's some guys who are bad snappers, good blockers, and good coverage people. It's just, I think you just kind of have to outweigh one or the other. But that guy was on skates. He didn't even think one time to just like drop or fucking just take it. Yeah. Just fucking grab him and take it. There was one time, it wasn't the snapper. It was like maybe a guard or whatever. It was his first game. We didn't know the guy's name. He was put in a guard though, and Overton and Colt Anderson, I think, took care of him. And he blocks, and then he takes the guy, and then he sheds him by throwing him right into me, basically, right? So as I'm punting, this guy's getting thrown underneath me, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, I think I landed over the guy or I went down or whatever. And Tom McMahon classic, just like, hey, just fucking tackle the guy, okay? Don't throw him into our guy, please. Like, anything but that. So I think the coaching point for that snapper is once you get going on skates, just fucking koala bear, and just go down however you can, because that was a nightmare. And I assume as he was getting deboed back, he was, oh, fuck, and just hoping the ball would get off around, which also happens. There's been a couple punts where some of my guys have been behind me while I'm punting it. And it's like, oh, that guy could have blocked this if he cared. He did not. He was obviously just blocking, but you're going to get got sometimes, especially whenever you're upside down quarterback.
We talk about putting Tyreek Hill back to return punts in special situations. Do teams ever think about putting like Bosa to rush a punt?
Oh, yeah. Hey, we need one right here over this guy. Yeah, or like there's a couple guys that are good edge rush. For instance, Ed Reed.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy's a little slow on his break or whatever. You get good because if you block one, it's huge.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to. Like Darius said it earlier, we talked about the chop and shoot so much. Like we had plans for the chop and shoot to work on a field goal, but you never fucking block a kick because everything's so quick. And then this one, biggest stage.
Get a field goal and a punt blocked. So kind of going for the trifecta there.
You talk about blocking a punt, too. He was
jumping
out here, yeah.
He was jumping like this. Yeah. Incredibly lucky, too. Like also misfortune at a pretty high level. Yeah. Anyways, I'm sure we're not the only ones overreacting to all. Shout out to the kickers, though. Fucking
shout out. Great weekend.
Suck-ups miss. Suck-up normally hits a draw, and that thing, the thing I don't like about your curve, some bitch don't curve. That thing, if you play the draw and it doesn't draw, you're missing a fairway. I mean, that's just. He was probably very confused as well when that ball turned right instead of left. I was when I was watching. I'm like, oh, that's a perfect ball, and then it just didn't at all. The McPherson game winner, him knowing it's going through before the ball even goes in, because it was drifting a little bit. It's cold. It was breezy. It was starting to kind of draw a little bit at the end. I fucking love that guy.
Yeah.
I strive to one day be like Evan McPherson. Oh, man, we're going to the AFC Championship. There's like 40 million people watching this probably. It's cold as shit, 50-some yarder. All right, here we go. No big deal. Let's go to the fucking title game, boys. Imagine him actually having a cigarette and flicking it out.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
That would have been so cool.
That CBS kicker guy jinxed Bucker twice in a row.
Yeah, Bucker had a little swerve on his ball as well.
On the extra point and the 50-yarder.
Yeah, he hit the upright from the left hash. I think he kicked that one straight, and then the other one dodged to the right. Felt like there might have been some breeze in that place.
Oh, yeah. Even at the end, you could see the flags moving a little bit.
Yeah, and those flags. I've told you.
You never know.
Never know with this.
How about Robbie? Robbie was walking his off. Right? It was halfway there, and he starts walking to the sideline.
45 yards in that weather is such
like a chip shot. Makes it look like a chip shot, too, how he does it.
And he takes these tiny little fucking steps, too. I don't know how he generates so much power, because there's a story that he was a jab three-step, standard kicker. Then he went to the New England Patriots training camp, and Vinatieri taught him how to do a two-step, and then it's just been a completely different ball game ever since. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just kind of folklore or whatever. But he, in that weather, is probably better for Bob than anybody else because of how small his steps are. But he's able to garner just so much power and just pure fluid without much steps. It's very impressive. I don't know how he does it. He's probably an incredible golfer, if I had to guess.
Oh, yeah.
He is,
He's
right?
a good golfer. Yeah.
He is a good golfer.
I think Robbie's like almost scratch.
Yeah, because he has the exact same. It's not like he's like McPherson. When McPherson hits it, it's a fucking, hey, we are
flying.
Yeah.
When Butker hits it, it's a, hey, here we go. When Robbie hit it, it's just like somebody like smoothing like a 7-iron. It's like almost just like a smooth ball out there, and it seems to always go in. Not enough for Chicago to keep him around.
Yeah, we wanted to.
But definitely, no, that's not what we heard.
Had some losers out there.
No.
Easier for it to go into when you're only lining up 10 guys out there, and not really giving the full.
Full they did have like an Arena League rush.
Yeah, so
How come the Arena League, and this is completely off topic, but who knows if we'll ever get into talking kickers this much, especially after 3 of the championship ticket punches were done by kickers.
Yeah.
How come in the Arena League there was never a rush? Was that against the rules over there? You ever see that?
The Arena
kicks, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember seeing many. Well, yeah, they'd kick it, but he had the tiny little uprights,
Yeah,
narrow.
yeah. So I always wondered, like,
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, are they allowed to rush?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. I'm starting to think this out loud. So the Packers didn't know they're allowed.
No.
Yeah, true.
They didn't, or they just didn't want it.
Did you guys run a rush? Do you know, or is it just standard?
I don't know.
Was there any Is there any chop, shoot, pull, shoot stuff? That's whenever you start getting into a little gamesmanship in there. Or maybe one drive, one coming up behind. Any of that?
I think there was, but the guy who was supposed to was on the bench. Yeah.
It's possible.
Just watching.
At that point, when they got in the field
off the
goal
edge.
range, too, it was like, oh, okay, this game's over. Robbie Gould's not fucking missing this.
How about first down by Debo? First down run by Debo. That right there, I'm like, oh, no, that's it.
How about Bob Gold saying, fuck the Packers, too, immediately afterwards?
Yeah, I would think he'd have more animosity towards the Bears and how it ended there.
Well, yeah, but
he loves the Bears. Loves
no,
Chicago.
I don't. He did go to the game that Cody Parker.
Yeah. Could have won Super Bowl that year.
His family still lives in Chicago, I think.
Yeah, big Cubs fans.
Jimmy and Kittle as well. They grew up Bears fans, right?
Arlington.
So maybe they've just hated them.
For Jimmy, at least.
The Packers.
Yeah.
Looks like it was a pretty standard rush. A couple guys off the edge. And
we're not getting creative.
Packers?
Wow. Coach doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Whoa.
Doesn't surprise me.
Whoa. Well, dude, Mo's a good guy.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a business.
I don't think he's a very good football coach, though.
Players got to execute, man. Players got to execute, right?
Yeah, the guy, let's assume that the 11th player knew at one point he was supposed to be on the field goal block team.
Well, that's the thing. Like, at what time was the coach just like, wait a minute, where's our fucking rush guy?
Guy standing right next to him?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Got his coat on. He's bundled up in his coat and everything.
He's like, all right, guys, get a block.
I ain't going out.
Why are you not on the field?
Hey, still though, 10. I always say though, 10 is way better than 12. I'd much rather have 2 men. You don't want to give them another kick at it if you have 12.
Get a mulligan out of that thing.
Well,
Special
either
teams
way.
is on big time display. What's that?
Oh, even if there are 12 on, they still made the kick, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but maybe it's blocked if there's 12 because you obviously can't block. We're not the only ones overreacting to absolutely everything. The entire Twitterverse did that follows us, and we can't thank everybody enough for every single week participating when the bird call is given to let all of your dramatic thoughts out of your mind into a tweet. You will not be judged. You're allowed to overreact, especially with how great the divisional round was. Within minutes, it was a trending topic on Twitter. We appreciate everybody for doing it. Ty scoured through them hours and hours of incredible entries, and the ones that really piqued his interest the most are as such. Welcome to hashtag PMS. I don't want to overreact, but Christopher Piro, Paisan at Benny15 Veda 20. Hey, Benny Veda, whenever he's out on stage, this guy gets it. As a huge 49ers fan and huge critic of Jimmy G, my God, that man just wins, and my team ain't getting no love. The 49ers will find a way to beat the Rams and will then go on to find a way to beat either the Chiefs or the Bengals. Is that an overreaction? Not 100% sure from a 49ers fan. I think that's an accurate way to view things. We do not talk about the Niners nearly enough, and all Jimmy G does is win. Remember years ago, whenever they were on a run to the Super Bowl, he only threw the ball, I think, 6 times in the NFC Championship game, and they still won. And everybody's like, why are they doing this with Jimmy? Anybody could do that. Then he threw 0 touchdowns. He's 3-0, and whenever that happens, Jimmy G is perfect for that team. Richard Sherman put out a tweet saying, hey, he's beloved by everybody in that locker room. Jimmy G is a guy. He just is used in a different fashion in Shanahan's offense. He doesn't get enough respect, but what the fuck is he doing next year? I don't think anybody knows that either, AJ.
I don't think he knows either. He's probably thinking, all right, let's go win the Super Bowl, and then I'll figure it out after that happens. There'll be plenty of need for him. But Jimmy, his numbers aren't great. I know his rating's not great. He finds a way to win, but he does he completes some big ball, in big time moments, big time third down conversions. He's finding Kittle, other people. He does make some pressure packed throws when they need it.
And it feels like his moxie is one that will always be there, being able to handle everything that happened last offseason with Trey Lance and the trade and the draft and basically breaking the internet with what they were deciding to do on the same day that Alabama had their pro day. I mean, it's one of those things where you got to be an incredibly tough person to get through that and remain a confident person, even though you're getting paid. Everybody's getting paid. But in that locker room, they kind of cut you off at the knees whenever they say, hey, we're trading 3 first-rounders in the future. We're going to get another quarterback. So even though you're our quarterback right now and have been treated as such, there's a chance some people in the locker room are like, oh, Jimmy's our guy. Why aren't they looking at him for the future? To be able to withstand the positivity, the confidence to go out and perform, make the right decisions, make some big throws, and also balance the relationship within the quarterback room and not let that affect the future or how you play is a massive ordeal. Now, how much will a team pay him? What will people give up? Will he be the future? That's all TBD, I guess. But LOL, Jimmy G, a real GUI, dude.
Yeah. And it feels like he's done enough now where the 49ers should at least consider bringing him back. Because if they don't, I mean, even the Colts? What if the Colts get Jimmy G? Like, they're probably, the favorites in the division. If they
Hey,
have
come
Jimmy.
on, Dahn.
Yeah. Why not?
Jimmy with the Colts.
Jimmy with the Colts.
Jimmy with the Stones.
Jimmy with JT in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
With that O-line. Pittman.
There's not enough Italians here. I do know a place that has a lot of them, though, could use a quarterback next.
There you go.
Where?
Come on.
Too many Italians in Pittsburgh.
What are you talking about?
The Garoppolo Familia. I saw it in a photo last week.
Yeah.
Not enough room for that many more Italians.
Plenty
in
of
Pitt-
room.
No, not too many Italians.
Too many Italians.
No, there's too many Italians.
The only thing is, San
Especially now
Fran-
that my family's getting added into this.
Yeah,
I mean, we're already in there.
My God. San Fran's a whole of a hell lot different than Indianapolis and Pittsburgh, though.
What are you talking about, dude?
What does that even mean, dude?
What do you mean?
San
What's
Fran
different?
is
'Cause you gotta pay a lot
warm.
of
Jimmy G,
taxes.
is it warm?
And it's
Yeah, it's
expensive.
on the
Pretty God,
beach.
dude.
He's made $100 million.
Doesn't sound like a concerned citizen of Indiana.
else?
I told you I'm not. I'm pissed now. Trying to win a goddamn Super Bowl. And see a parade.
What if he doesn't have
I
a
ain't
choice
concerned
to
no
stay in
more.
San Francisco?
No, exactly. That's why I think he's warranted at least another year. I mean, shit, they're in the goddamn NFC Championship. They started 2-5.
Jimmy's gonna be living in Mike's apartment down in Miami where he's playing for the
Oh, is that what you're saying? Hey, Miami would be a place Jimmy G would thrive, right? If we know any of his past
Whose
history.
apartment?
Yeah.
Mike's apartment.
You've been there.
He also
Pouncey?
he also
Who's
lives
Mike?
in, he also lives in Brazil and he has a bus too.
Stay off the bus.
He's got a
A
brother.
lot of pizza.
A lot of pizza.
That's your kind of
Talking
category.
Connor's Pizzagate?
No, not that.
Jeez,
Of course,
dude.
way to weasel that one in.
My God.
How many months you been trying to force that one onto the
Knock
conversation?
it off the list, AJ.
All right,
Trying
way
to
to
figure it
go.
out.
Hey, way to go.
Nice
Good
job.
job,
AJ.
AJ.
Let's go to another overreaction, shall we? Hashtag PMS. I don't want to overreact, but Justin Ginsicki at Ginsicki37 in a tux taking a photo.
Sheesh.
Doesn't get dressed.
Which one is he?
Could not verify.
Oh, so that's a wedding, right?
I think so.
Hey, we don't get dressed up much. Let's take a photo, Let's do that whole thing. Justin Ginsicki. The Titans will never make a Super Bowl with Tannehill as the starting quarterback. 3 costly picks and a 10.4 QB. Carson had a 4.4. So I think Tannehill's first pass was an interception, and his last pass was an interception, everything in between.
After further review, he's the guy on the right.
He had okay, thank you. Justin on the right back there. He was the one who said, let's take a photo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so okay, good. At 10.4 QBR, get him out of Tennessee. Was it because Tannehill had a bad day? Was it because the Titans, weren't fully prepared for the Cincinnati Bengals to be as good as the Cincinnati Bengals were? What was it? How was it? Why was it? Tannehill certainly going to be in the crosshairs for all of offseason, I'd assume, with a lot of the Titans fans.
I would assume. I mean, you turn the ball over 3 times. That's the thing. Like, if you take one of those away, do they win the game? I don't know. Like, that's the problem. Like, if your defense gets 9 sacks, we're like, hey, let's just not mess this thing up on offense.
Yeah,
That's what you want to do.
9 sacks is a lot of times.
Yeah.
That's a lot of negative plays. That's a lot of wasted plays. That's a lot of gained yardage and momentum. That's what sacks are in that whole thing. So you just got to win maybe, or just stick within the turnover battle and you'll be okay. The whole thought of Tannehill throwing those picks and them losing, you automatically know that Tannehill's legacy is now going to be questioned. Mm-hmm. And then that Rams-Bucks game, Matty Stafford was balling, and they were winning. And then it was unfolding, and things were happening, and I'm like, oh, Stafford's going to get blamed for this. Stafford's going to get blamed for this. And it was fumbles, and it was an errant snap, and it was some other shit going on defense, not being able to get a stop. And I'm like, oh, Matthew Stafford's going to be the one that's going to get blamed for this. He got his first playoff win. Way to go. Couldn't do it against the champs, though. And everybody would say, yeah, but everybody, I don't need to hear any buts. He's still Matthew Stafford. It's crazy how your entire legacy, just a few plays, can really swing things differently, because Tannehill, remember, highest QBR or something like that, and all this stuff, gets another $100 million contract. He's the guy. And then a couple plays, you throw a pick on the first play of a game, and then on the last play of the game, basically for your offense, you guys go on to lose that when everybody thought you were going to win. That's a whole different conversation about you now for another 5-6 months going into the offseason.
Oh, and Derrick Henry only having 20 rushes. Like we talked about last week, hey, between when it gets to 25, 30 touches, that's when he's going to go off and, have a deep run. Like, it didn't really make sense that they weren't giving him the ball as much as we thought they were going to.
He looked like he was good, though, too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he had a couple losses and he got stuffed on a couple 4th and 1s. I mean, those weren't great, obviously. Can't have that happen. And they go out for the 2-point conversion.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get it after the penalty, which I love that decision by Vrabes, by the way. If you can get that ball to the 1, you can't get it 1 more yard. 1 more point is quite an advantage in the grand scheme of things. You should be able to get 1 yard. I think if you can't get a yard, you can't win the game. I assume Vrabel feels that way, but I don't know. Watching that game, I was just mightily confused. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this? This is interesting. Tannehill's trying to give this game away. And then on the other side, it's like Burrow's getting fucking killed.
Yeah.
It was interesting to kind of watch it all unfold, AJ.
Well, don't you? I think the only way for Tannehill to erase any of those questions about his legacy and what kind of quarterback he is to go on and win the Super Bowl this year. They were the number 1 seed. It looked like it was all set up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does his contract situation look like, and what is Tennessee going to do?
How we'd have to go to Spotrac, I guess, here real quick.
Could have never seen this coming.
Oh, see? That's exactly what happened. You have a bad day.
The dude's been awesome for Tennessee.
Yeah,
Since he
for
got there, he's been
Tennessee,
great.
I watched this for years, AJ. This ain't the first time this has happened.
You have a bad day on the wrong day, and it's the biggest day. I mean, that is not good for your entire legacy. Oh, it's the moment. It's the home field advantage. It's this. It's that. It's like maybe just had a bad day.
So,
like maybe the guy just wasn't fucking feeling it that day. Maybe his reads weren't as good. And that would have happened on a Wednesday. If it just so happened to be on a Wednesday, like that happens. But it seems like the ones that are at that top either have less of those, or when they have those days, the rest of the team gets a win for them. And that's what separates a lot of conversation pieces.
He's definitely going to be a Titan next year. His cap hit is $38 million, and his dead cap is $57.
Jesus.
Holy fuck.
Maybe the year after that when it's only 18
Potential
against
out.
the dead cap.
Oh, Jesus.
My
Hey,
God.
good for
A lot of money.
Tannehill ain't going anywhere.
Nope.
Good for him.
Hey, hate to break it to you there, Cuz that just tweeted us.
The guy with the cell phone.
Oh,
Justin Gasinki.
Yep, Jen Sicky.
Jen Sicky. Hey, hate to break it to you. Tannehill's there next year, pal.
So,
And he can put 10.4 QBRs up for the first 8 weeks. He going to be there again. 38 million's a lot of millions. That's a lot of millions. Now, on the other side, Carson Wentz only like 15 million or something like
yeah,
that.
you can probably cut ties and be okay with
205
that.
million. I don't know. You tell me if there's other money around the cap. Make a decision. Not that Carson doesn't deserve another opportunity.
What about A-Rod in Tennessee?
He's not an Indy.
Swap
that contract.
Tannehill for A-Rod.
Swap
Swap
it
him.
out.
Hey, A-Rod loves Braves.
Packers
Braves,
are
I'm sure, loves
negative.
him.
Packers are negative 38 million or something like that. They can't pick up another. Or they're negative
that's all
31
fake.
million.
That's
is
all fake, right?
We agree. It is all fake.
a lot of
and
fake money.
you could
a lot of
run
money.
the books and numbers to cook it and kick the can down the road, but there ain't no way they can pick up another $38 million in Green Bay area.
No way.
Yeah, there it is. It is 38 million.
Especially keeping, MVS. I don't know if Lazard is up, Devontae's
Yes.
up. There's a lot
What's
of
the
guys.
franchise tag for the wide
Devontae's
receiver?
getting tagged though.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but that's still going to be a high number.
Godwin
18
was
is
what?
it? What is it?
I think Godwin was 16 and a half, but I assume it probably went up because the average.
The average
probably
of the
went up.
top 5, right?
Yeah.
Without bonuses, though. The average of the top 5 salaries without bonuses.
Projected is 18.5.
And I'll tell you what, that whole average of the top 5 without bonuses really kicks you right in the baby maker if you're a punter or a kicker and you get franchise tag. Because all these incentive-based contracts that are potentially out there and bonuses. Yeah, it's not that. It's just a salary. Oh, fucking great.
Son of a bitch.
I wish these goddamn agents were better for everybody else.
It's going to be real tough.
19.1.
Different website that I'm using, so.
Love, this is overthecap.com.
Overthecap.com.
Obviously, if they don't want to if they can't come to terms for a long-term deal with them, they're going to tag them.
19 million's a lot. That's what I'm saying.
It's Devontae Adams.
Yeah, but what if Devontae says, I don't want to? I'm going.
Oh, yeah. He usually doesn't have to sign it.
Yeah, he had a game with Jordo Love this year already.
But by the way, he would have to sign it, then they could trade it, right?
Yeah.
If he would have to sign it to be traded. And if he signs it, he has no control immediately upon that moment happening. So it would have to be a lot of trust if.
Which, why would you have any sort of trust that they're going to do the right thing for you?
Whoa.
I'm just,
A lot of it
I mean,
depends
just
on
based
A-Rod,
on
doesn't it?
reason.
Fucking guy.
Well, it all depends
about?
on A-Rod,
Yeah.
Oh, it's all dependent upon.
which it doesn't seem
Is he coming on a show tomorrow or what?
I assume so, right?
It's on my calendar.
Okay. All right. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Somebody tell him.
Yep.
As long as he's not pooping, he'll be here.
Hey, Darius Butler had a nice 15-minute poop earlier.
I know.
Just let it all out.
Wipe it
that's
up already,
always,
you know?
That's always the answer if someone's like not on at the exact time they're supposed to be.
Dude, right in my ear. Yeah, whoever it is pooping. It's like, okay. All right. So, and then I have to look, and he does like a shrug or whatever.
Everyone poops.
It's like, how long? You know, I'm trying to do like a how long. And he's like, I don't know how long the poop is. It's interesting because it's only a one-way conversation, right? He can only talk to me. So I have to, you know, explain what my question is. And then he'll come back with what he thinks I'm asking. And then if I'm not asking that particular piece of information, I have to gather that piece of information. And I might have a follow-up then to that piece. But also we need to answer the first one. And by the time it all gets through, there's some other conversation already happening.
Six other people talking to you.
It's a beautiful thing.
He
It's a
also
beautiful thing.
has
Zito's
to-
incredible at what he does.
Oh yeah,
Zito is, as is Foxy and Nick and everybody. I appreciate everybody's work, but Zito is direct line in my ear. The rest let me know what's going on. There's currently 64,000 people watching. It's like, what? And then somebody's talking, and my face goes, whoa.
That's my favorite part of the show.
Oh
It
my
literally is.
God, that's a lot of people. What are you doing? I almost immediately interrupt whoever's talking to tell the people, why are you doing this? But that would make no sense because only me and Zito are having a conversation.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild.
Now people will see that face and be like, whoa.
Now they know.
Yeah, whenever you see me go and then stand up, it's like, what? Why is this happening?
Well, Aaron has to come on tomorrow too because, I mean, that guitar has been teased many
he
times.
promised it.
I'll be in the mood for guitar.
Between you two.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, tomorrow definitely seems like the day he's going to really open up and play the guitar and sing.
Exactly.
Probably some blues, right?
Yeah.
The divisional rhyme, W. Oh, fuck me, no, fuck you. Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan.
Job.
Whoa.
This song's called Immunized.
Jeez.
What?
Nothing.
Saw a lot of those memes too.
Oh.
Yeah. Immunized from the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, that's like when I got in trouble for the alleged activity that I did.
Sure.
I still, you know, will hear it from somebody like, hey, let's go swim it. And I have to act, you know, for the moment, for the energy of the conversation, for everything. I have to act as if I've never heard it. So, yeah, all right, man, maybe, you know, always the same reaction because I don't want, you know, to be like, okay, it's fucking 10 years ago, dude.
All right, get some new material. Bud.
heard
Just
that
keep moving.
Everyone's a comedian.
But Aaron's going to hear forever about the COVID, you know, and the immunized and the. They introduce him. Joining us now, quarterback. Not vaccinated. Aaron Rodgers. Hi, Aaron.
Yeah, people were just licking their lips on Twitter, especially when he threw that ball to Devontae on 3rd and 11. It's like, you know, someone basically just yelled "Battle Stations," and everyone just loaded their memes up and got ready to go.
That's awesome. It's a shame I fell asleep for that. I would have really enjoyed the internet. You know, I would have really enjoyed that.
It didn't get old either. It was really funny the whole time. The same stupid, boring ass jokes.
Come on.
A lot of people I actually respected too, which was the sad part.
Oh, for what? What did you?
Just in general, some sports analysts that I respected who thought Throw Rogan was absolutely hilarious.
It is kind of funny.
It's fucking comedy, dude.
It is kind of funny. It rhymes with Joe.
Yeah.
Gump, can you send me those? Can you send me the prominent ones you're talking
I
about?
will send. I will send you the folder, AJ.
I just want to know because
it's already ready. It's ready.
I didn't
The
know like
folder's
mainstream
ready.
people we know are jumping on.
Oh yeah.
Easy 2 points, dude.
If you
Layups.
talk-
Funny, dude.
If you talk sports,
Bro,
you're a
it's-
doctor.
That's Diggs's big takeaway from the
And
entire
a
thing.
comedian.
Well, that's Ian Rappaport's thing.
Well, he
But
is.
why are you
comedian.
surprised? Like you don't? Are you continuing to be surprised by this?
Exactly.
I continue to be let down.
Why?
You talk sports for a living, dude. You don't fucking save lives.
Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. We are in an era where everybody can save everybody's life at all times as long as you say the right things on the internet.
Boom.
You're right. That's
Well said.
very true.
Thank you.
CPR certified.
I'm sorry I just had to break down fucking reality for you, pal. That's real life. That's fucking the world we live in right now.
I was
dude.
still seeing red, so I didn't even hear what you said. To be
I'm
honest.
sorry. Well, I'm just letting you know that people are saving lives with words on Twitter, dude. You never understand. I was.
What if Aaron live streams himself getting vaccinated like tomorrow. He's like, I got it, guys. What do you think? People be mad or upset? Which way?
Well, then it probably just completely flips, right? Then the entire
chemicals.
Fucking guy.
No, he's doing the right thing. Yeah, just complete. And then I'll be right there in the middle somehow as well. Just fucking hapa, yappa.
Yeah.
I am kind of bummed that I missed out on the Throw Rogan internet. I am, like, I legitimately am.
Yeah, around like 1 minute left in the game, you could kind of see everybody running to the front line already.
Those are in the drafts. For
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Are you kidding me?
These things are on deck, dude.
Exactly.
Is it similar to how people, I feel like terrible people will cheer when somebody is unvaccinated that publicly talk bad about the vaccine dies? You know, like they'll be cheerleaders for their death, which I think is just awful.
Well, okay. So I don't know about what you're talking about. I assume this is.
It's not a conspiracy. It's not. I'm not messing up the show. Like, it's a real thing when people have like dunked on people that die that have been going hard against the vaccine.
Okay, well, let's have a moment of silence for the people that AJ's talking about.
No matter what, whatever side you're on, who cares? You don't have to cheer for people to die.
True. Let's have a moment of silence for everybody, no matter what side they're on that died.
Okay.
Thank you for this, AJ.
Thank you.
You're not welcome. You're not welcome.
You're not welcome to interrupt this moment of silence, you fucking dirtbag,
What
dude.
are you doing?
Who's it for?
People that have died, just in general.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
What are you doing?
Jeez.
You're still interrupting.
Vaccinated or unvaccinated.
We didn't want to have to do this again.
We didn't think we had to ever again do a moment of silence, but here we are. People are dying, I guess. It's going to stop. Just death in general.
You have no food?
Nope.
Excuse me.
I am hungry.
You're talking.
As long as I get some good seasoning, I think there'll always be food.
No.
Like what?
Some good season coming soon.
We've heard. All right. Rest in peace, everybody.
Yeah.
That's right.
Rest in peace, everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry for it about it.
Via con Dios.
That's right.
See.
Well said.
Thank you.
Viva the bueno.
Raza! Oh, sorry.
Viva la raza.
Uh-huh.
I mean, obviously, yeah. Rest in peace there, too.
Yeah.
Shoot. What?
Wait, we need another one? We need a second one I didn't know about?
That was Freddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
The first one's for all people that have
I didn't
died.
hear Z.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear Z.
Latino heat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
By the way, rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Real talk.
R.I.P.
Viva la raza.
When's
Owen
John
Hart?
Stockton get to go to a basketball game?
Oh, come on.
He said we're going to get through it.
All right. So we're out
I
of here.
did see that.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. I don't know what time. We don't know what time.
Nope.
I assume it's going to be a good conversation about something. Can't wait to hear what Throw Rogan has to say.
Me too.
You know what I mean? See, he's still got AJ to pop. Look at
Yeah. Still getting them.
him. Still get him.
People are creative, man.
AJ's burner did tweet out like 18 different memes
Yeah,
of
true.
the Throw Rogan. So
How about AB?
That was pretty good.
that was good.
Got like 30,000 retweets.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, this guy's the worst, man. Let me retweet it, though.
Yeah.
This guy.
Right before you wish Tom a good luck, kumbaya.
Oh, yeah. I thought he was coming back.
Yeah, me too.
Turned babyface there for a second,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, this is too good. This is too good. This is too good.
He's hosting a party with Moneybag Yo this week. It's gonna be
Oh.
How many appearances is AB doing at the Super Bowl?
Style it. Hopefully he's on our show one time, you know?
Just once.
I want a performance, though. I'd like to pay for a performance.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh, my God. We need to reach out to pay for a performance.
Yeah,
Reach out now.
Because you did the Ben Roethlisberger one. Which was
Come on.
What are you
was that?
doing,
Awesome.
dude?
Try to get him on, dude.
What are you
What are
doing?
you doing, Connor?
This is the cameo. You can play it.
What happened?
He said,
What are
I know
you
you're
doing?
sad about Ben Roethlisberger retiring, but he's not so sure this is it for him.
That's what he called him, dude.
I
He
didn't
was
know.
just trying to recollect.
Yes.
I didn't know if he was taking a shot at him or just, you know. I don't
No,
know.
verbatim. That's what the cameo said.
All right, let's get out of here. We're back tomorrow with Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, maybe. Buy tickets with SeatGeek. Talked to Ticket Stooge this morning. And, you know, we should keep up with him a little more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like tickets, dude.
We all like Ticket Stooge.
Although he was close.
Yeah.
Oh, he was
He was
close.
real close.
Very close.
Oh,
to
yeah.
fucking,
He almost caught a
yeah.
mortar.
Drone strike.
He was saying nobody in the history of, like, brains would say stat that or something like that after the 5th or 6th stat that commercial that he watched because he's an advertising guy. And that made its way into our timeline.
Yeah.
Nobody would say stat that. How about this? Stat that. We
Stat
do
that.
say that. Stat
Yeah,
that.
stat that.
And he almost got ran out of Twitter. Stat that.
Stat that.
Very close.
Listen, I
Ticket
love
Stooge?
I love Ticket Stooge, but when you put out the commercial that they put out, you can't be coming for other people's commercials and stat that.
Oh, yeah,
a good
because they had that whole, come on, dude. Fucking be an athlete.
Who the hell is Ticket Stooge?
Siki Connect.
Okay.
Get back here, ball. That's the only ball trick I've been able to do my entire life. So anytime I was at a soccer camp and like guys started juggling and doing all the ball tricks, I had just one go-to, and that was it every time. And it would always get and then somebody else would have to do it.
It's a good one.
It was awesome. It's the same thing every time, and now I can't do it anymore because I'm fucking old. It's tough. That's reality, AJ. I'm a fucking old man now. I fall
you're
asleep during
not.
football games if they're boring.
Well,
You're not the
that's
only
pretty
one.
natural, I feel like.
That's life.
That's right.
By the way, that game being over at 10 o'clock on the dot last night.
Perfect.
Chef's kiss, my friend.
Perfect. Next week's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. More of your phone calls, more of your overreactions, hopefully. And Aaron Rodgers, Tuesday, we think. Right, AJ?
I would assume. I have no information one way or the other, but I would assume.
Can't wait.
Can't wait for Aaron Rodgers Tuesday.
He'll be here.
Boys, great day today. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Paul.
To everybody that watched, thank you so much to Darius Butler and TJ live. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry for the ricochet shots. Derek Watt.
Yes.
A little bit soft call out there.
That was TJ's fault.
Watt.
What?
We're back tomorrow. Bye.